7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm like, well, holy shit, that was crazy. Wait for it. Thick and slick. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. And we have reached another milestone here. We are on episode 200. So, for any of our longtime listeners, thank you for joining us again. Once again, I am your host, Travis. And yes, we are with no full video feed at this point. We are still... The studio is a work in progress here. We're getting a lot closer, but it's still a work in progress. So before we get started, I just want to thank our sponsors. So first off, our presenting sponsors, Energy Fuel, the best fucking drink out there. Keep yourself fueled, energized, and strong from start to finish. Pick yours up today at CoachRobbStore.com. Also, thanks to Premier Custom Trailers. If you need a trailer, commercial or residential, Premier Custom Trailers has what you need. They work with the best manufacturers in the industry and specialize in all your trailer needs. Sales, service, parts, or rentals, they do it all. Make sure to check them out at PremierCustomTrailers.com, located 5 minutes south of Kalamazoo on US 131 in Schoolcraft, Michigan. They put the custom in customer service. Also, our final presenting sponsor, TLR Coatings, Michigan's #1 custom powder coating shop. From two-tone wheels to motorcycle frames to small batch production jobs, TLR Coatings will powder coat anything metal the right way. If you're looking for some custom Cerakoting, they do that too. TLR Coatings, serving Southwest Michigan and surrounding areas for over 5 years. Check them out at TLRcoatings.com or on all the major social media networks at TLR Coatings, including TikTok. Also on board with us here, Alias Sport, Holester Co, Dirt Bike Depot, JT Cycle, Adept Creative Co, Gutterworks, Isaac Nelson Designs, and Clutch Media. Links in the description below, discounts in the description below to all that stuff. So make sure to check all of those out. If you want to buy some merch, you want to check out, or you want to buy some Amazon stuff and help us out, or you want to support us on Patreon, there are links in the description for all of that. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Help us get out there. We are picking up some numbers here, so that's a major positive. And don't forget, for those of you who watch on YouTube, if you want to listen to the full 3-hour show without having to keep your YouTube playing in the background, we do have the full podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all of the above. We have a jam-packed 200th show tonight. Got two of my normal co-hosts in studio with me. We have Coach Robb coming up. We have Eric Grondahl from Adept Creative Co coming up. We've got Kevin Moran's coming up to talk about his race. And we are going to kind of wrap up the Denver race, which there's not... there's some stuff to talk about, but not a ton, so that'll be short. And then... For everyone who's been around this week, everybody knows it's been a big news week here. So we've got a couple other things to talk about. Where did the camera go?
Well, am I live here?
Yeah. Where's the camera at?
Well, your boy here's a spud was gonna clip some stuff, and the battery's dead. So hopefully one of these might work on it.
Wow.
What you looking for?
We'll worry about that in a little intermission.
All right. First up here, my two co-hosts in studio. Normal co-host, OG, been back here the entire time. The one, the only Justin. Hi, buddy.
What's going on, bud?
You got a haircut, and I'm pumped about it.
That was last week. That's old news.
Damn, you did.
You're presentable now, though. I can actually show you off to ladies who might be looking for a pure blood man, and maybe they'll say, "Huh, okay,"
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway.
His Tinder bio says specializes in flying W's.
Now. Kimmy Granger.
Kimmy Granger.
Also in studio with me here. He is Supercross only. We will not be introducing him to any single ladies because, number one, he's taken, and number one, with that fucking porn stash he's got going on, there isn't a one of them that's going to look at him anyway. He is the one and only Cole Ugetti. Hi, Cole.
What's up? You guys ain't feeling the stash?
No.
I mean,
it's a little pedo.
I mean, it's getting cut off before the work week. This is kind of a weekend only kind of thing.
Oh. You did not grow that one weekend.
Listen, so I'm
gonna tell you. I'm gonna be real honest.
Let me explain
with
myself here. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But here's the story of my mustache. So, I went riding yesterday, Battle Creek.
Okay.
Riding season, son. This is why Supercross only is a thing because I'm out riding a lot. but I will be here for some outdoor shows. Don't worry.
You gonna do the outdoor
boy.
preview show?
Duh.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Duh. Went riding. And then my buddy actually had a gender reveal party, so we were going over there doing that thing, and he was like, went straight there from the track. So still had the bikes loaded, all that bullshit. And all my boys are like, damn, you look pretty good with a mustache. You know what I'm saying? You should.
All the boys told you that.
I mean,
Oh God.
I mean, there weren't a lot of ladies there. It was pretty much
All the boys.
All the
told
homies?
you that.
all the homies were like, dude, you should get a fucking.
I don't want to
were
hang
they
out
a
with
little
your homies.
were they intoxicated when they said this?
Maybe a little bit of a buzz. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Alright.
I don't
drink much.
want to hang out with your homies because this doesn't sound like it's going down a good path.
Anyway, they were like,
Mustache
"You should
rides for
cut in-
everybody."
You should cut in a stash, bro. That thing's looking pretty mean." I was like, you know what? I should. So I went and I was freezing my ass off. So I went and unloaded the bikes, got all that done, stopped at home real quick, and I'm taking a leak over the toilet. I'm like, here's my trimmer right there, staring at me.
Manscaped.
So nope. I got a wall, aluminum boy.
Huh, all right.
I need to get a Manscaped for the old.
They don't sponsor us yet, so we can't buy them.
I mean, maybe we can send a resume in.
We can
maybe.
send a resume.
Yeah, sure.
They might.
They're sponsoring a lot of people for a lot of
Sponsor
different
everybody for everything.
Yeah, they're sponsoring. Off topic, real quick, but they've had some people that really have nothing to do with their business model doing some shout outs for them.
things. Yeah, that's very true.
So yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna cut this thing in and go back with a stash. So I fucking
Definitely looks a hell of a lot better than fucking that shit that Wyman was pulling about 6 years
and
ago.
I'm looking sick. I feel pretty confident with this thing, to be honest.
You
with
should definitely run that for MXON though.
Yeah.
I
for
cut
sure.
one in at MX1 last year with my suit,
You
or
need to.
whenever it was here.
2018.
Yeah, you should
Remember
definitely
my red,
do
white,
it.
and blue suit.
You should definitely do it again.
It's coming back out, the red, white, and blue
Except
suit.
you should wear overalls this time.
All right, boys.
I don't know, but anyway,
We
yeah,
got-
that's the story of my stash.
All
So
right, no,
fuck
it
you
looks
guys.
good. Well, it looks better than Matt's did. So there you
does
go.
look better than
Well,
Wyman's.
Matt's ugly anyway.
All right, so we got a jam-packed show here, boys, so we got to get rocking and rolling here. At some point here in the first hour, we're hopefully going to get Kevin Moran's on to kind of talk about his weekend and his new diet.
That he can't eat Hawaiian
They
rolls.
can't eat
rolls,
bread.
anything of
No,
bread.
he's carb-free now.
What's he, keto?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. It was in his vlog from last week.
Gluten-free.
Gluten-free, carb-free, can't eat the rolls at Texas Roadhouse. He's struggling.
I wonder
He's
about his-
struggling.
Is he? I wonder about his start. I wonder what gear he used.
I don't know.
in the
We'll have to
elevation.
ask. But anyway, and then we got Grondahl coming up in the second hour, and then Coach on the third hour here. So we got to get rocking and rolling with this race
That is
recap.
Eric Grondahl, just for
Yes,
the viewers,
Eric,
right?
not Mike. Yep. Adept Creative Co owner. So anyway, let's get rocking and rolling into this 450 wrap up here. So we're wrapping up the Denver race, the 450s, brought to you by our friends at Holester Co, making Kydex holsters for things that go bang bang and
Beep,
boom
beep,
boom
boom,
and
boom.
beep beep and all of the above.
Give me
They
that
also
beep beep. Give me
they
that.
also sell things that go beep beep and bang bang and boom boom and all of the above. So if you're
Bop,
looking
bop.
for any of that, make sure to check them out at miholsterco.com, and they can get you all hooked up there. Thanks to Mike and Roxy over there.
Thank you.
All right, so 450 wrap up here. So Tomac wins the title. Now he's on the list with Stu, with Chad, two-time Supercross champ. I'm sure there's
Rick
others.
Johnson.
Rick Johnson.
A lot of two-time. It's kind of rare air, actually.
He's getting in rarer air. So
Yeah,
as far as the win
Stu,
percentage
Chad,
as
Rick
well.
Johnson. I think there's another one from the 70s, pretty big name. I don't.
this is how good we are at this, is that we know all
Well,
the
the problem-
two or two or more.
They have two or more. The
Yeah.
problem.
Okay,
the
well,
prob-
you got Stanton, you got McGrath,
Well,
obviously.
and I want to say Bob Hanna, but I feel like he's won more than two premier titles in the Supercross level.
He's
but
won more than two.
yeah,
I think.
so he's getting there though, and now finally, I guess not. They were all about, oh, is he going to pass Chad? Nope, didn't pass Chad on the wins. So,
No, he didn't.
I mean, it's coming though.
I think it is too. He looked really froggy again yesterday, and then Anderson caught him, and he was just kind of like, "Nope, I'm done."
Well, hold on though.
Oh boy.
Let's talk about the fact that yet another weekend that somebody was out front and decides to just bonehead spode move. The guy that I called for the win, that I gave a little bit too much faith into after Foxborough.
We'll get to him in a second. Let's stay focused on Tomac here. So he sends it in again, ends up fading back to fifth. Last week, same thing. He even brought it up in some interviews I heard that, I was going at it, and then I got in that close call with Ando and Webb there, and kind of just said, you know what, win the war, not the battle type deal, which we all thought
Wasn't
was a
feeling that in
thing.
the heat race though.
No, the heat race, he fucking whole shot and see ya.
But,
dude, how wild was that
Here's
crowd?
the big X factor, though, and this is why I wish I had the camera going because I was going to clip this for the gram.
Yeah.
But the knee injury, bro.
Yeah, I'm not
That
buying
was an interesting.
I'm not buying it.
Why not buy it? What's
I'm
not to
okay.
buy
So
about it?
he has a knee injury, but he also said that it's getting better. But I'm not buying into the fact that it has anything to do with why he did what he did these past 2 weekends.
No, I agree with that. Like he's winning the title, he managed the title, he got it.
Well, there's a lot of
I'm
there's
looking
a narrative.
forward.
There's a narrative that people are saying that that's why he's been riding the way he is the last couple.
Oh,
weekends.
yeah.
Oh,
See,
I don't know
I'm
about
not
that,
saying
but
that.
I'm talking
Yeah.
moving forward. Like it's a little early to talk about outdoors.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a
Damn,
month, less than a month and a half away.
Hey, look, if he's like me, he's got that 30-year-old trick knee, which is like it's fine 99% of the time, but that 1% it's not fine. It's like you can't walk upstairs, not fine.
I mean, you never know. Philip or who said they didn't have an ACL their whole career?
RV.
McGrath, wasn't it?
Well, RV
didn't.
RV didn't have a knee after 2011.
Jason Thomas said he didn't have his for like multiple
Well, like
years.
you said, that's the thing about knees, though, man. Like, they're never going to get worse. They're either days are going to be fine, and then there's days they're going to feel like shit, but they're never going to get it worse. They're just
Yeah.
going to be, they're either there or they're not. Like, it's not one of those things that progresses over time. But he also did mention that his knee is getting better, though, because I think he said he got it from the Atlanta round.
yeah.
when he about Spode City.
Yeah,
in
when he
front of
dabbed
us.
his foot, when we were actually thought, oh, shit, it's his growing, when him and Ando were going at it in the heat race. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
It is interesting,
Vibrate,
though, 'cause
motherfucker.
I was
Vibrate.
I was
Look.
actually gonna bring that up.
That's awesome. Yeah, no. So that definitely an interesting fact. But
Stubbs text
anybody
coming
who's saying that is what
Yeah.
the reason for him not doing, we'll call it quote unquote well these last two races. No, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
It was total title management, which is 100% what it is. Okay, fine, cool. And he did it. He managed it. And watch next week, he'll probably win by fucking 30 seconds.
Maybe a
that's
part of me,
debatable.
like I didn't get to watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
I be honest with you, haven't watched the broadcast. But I caught the end of the main event and I saw him out front. And I'm like, damn, he's gonna do it for the hometown crowd. He's gonna put an exclamation point on it. He's gonna win for the hometown. He's gonna get the title. And then Ando caught him, and he kind of was just like, yeah,
But
here you go.
that's the thing, though. And I mean, I don't really know how much else there is to say about that. We can kind of just jump right into Anderson. And me and Travis talked about this on the last show. You know, when he went through that slump after knocking himself silly and bumming up his shoulder in Detroit, and then the weekend in Indy when Barsha sawed off his front end, and then he just kind of like, well, you know, if I'm in a position to win, I'll take it. If not, it is what it is. And we kind of all know that he's been focusing on outdoors. But dude, these last couple weekends have proven that it's like,
Yo, and I don't know about the focus on outdoor. Did you see the video this week of him riding in his fucking New Mexico track?
no, I didn't know there was a video out.
Yeah.
Team Fried one?
Yeah.
Fried
yeah.
Land, Fried Land.
No.
The Team Fried video. Was
No, it
pretty
wasn't.
funny.
It wasn't YouTube. It was an Instabanger or
Oh.
Instagram one I saw. But dude, that New Mexico track, you saw it, didn't you?
It's a little old though.
Is it?
Is it an outdoor track?
No, it's a
Yeah, it's a
Supercross.
Supercross track. He's got one right by the highway now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the dirt there looked very similar to what they rode in Denver. So
Yeah, so it makes me wonder what we could have had Detroit not happen. I think we'd be in a
pure
title.
bench racing, but
Yeah, I think we'd still be in a title battle right now. I really do. Like Anderson, you know, and for all the people that were thinking that, you know, like Tomac, that he late, like when Sexton had his little brain fart, Tomac was pushing there for a while, and he was like, hey, like if the win's there, I'll take it. If not, but like he wanted to win that race, and Anderson just caught him. And then when Tomac realized that, Anderson's just better tonight, then he laid it back and he just kept going backwards. He's like, hey, title management or whatever. But Anderson these last 3 weekends, for anybody that thought that, like,
dude, he's ripping.
dude,
He's fucking
he's got,
ripping.
is it 6 wins now?
smooth too,
Is it
man.
si- is
It's something like that.
He's-
5 or 6.
if he-
I think it's 5.
No, I think it's 6 because if he wins next weekend, him and Tomac will both have 7 wins.
Well,
The other thing that I noticed too is, damn, he can put that bike wherever he wants.
he
it.
can.
Dude, when he passed Eli, I know that it was a normal soak up that triple, but how much lower he stayed
Yeah.
than Eli. And then it's like, dude,
and then turn the bike back,
which
down
is something
and
that
got to
Kawasaki has never been able to do,
Yeah.
like, ever. And if you guys also noticed, I know that Anderson has always been pretty good at this, but I've realized, and I don't know if it's just because of the Cowie geometry and the way his style is, dude, his whoop speed this year is fucking phenomenal.
It is.
And I understand it's also partly because he's a guy that rides 4th through the whoops, where a lot of
partly
guys ride 3rd.
aluminum frame kind of thing too.
Yeah. And, you know, being a little bit longer, stretching out the wheelbase, but once again, also, too, he rides 4th, where a lot of guys will ride 3rd, just traction thing. But you look at those days on the Husky, he was never this fucking good in the whoops.
He is fucking ripping,
I don't think
dude.
he was this good on the Husky ever.
No, I think this is the best of his career he's ever been.
And man, and I mentioned the Team Fried video. I don't know if you guys watched it, but
I didn't watch that.
A lot of behind the scenes of like the vibes at the Cowie truck, and they're all hanging out in there. And so there's a little like a segment, air quotes, that they put in there with Tickle, and they were like, "What's Brock gonna eat today?" And then Brock's in the semi. He's like, we in Hot Atlanta, so we bring in the heat. We got pastrami on the sandwich or whatever the whole deal. But the truck driver, he's in there filming it. Big B, team manager's in there in on it. Like they're like, "Oh, Tom, you vlogging?" Like super pumped to have the vlog around. Got Anderson just hanging. They're all laughing, having a great time. This is back in Atlanta.
I'm excited for the vlogs outdoors when a certain someone joins the team.
That's not happening from what I hear.
Where'd you hear that from?
Someone who would know. Someone who might have given us some information on that whole team deal period. From what I hear, that's not a thing.
I like the same person, but he also said Kenny, no way in hell is going to ride outdoors. And
I would.
Well, in all fairness, we all said that, and we all said Webb wasn't coming back. So whatever. But no, he has the inside. He does have the inside track on that. He talks to dude's management.
He talks to the direct source quite a bit. It sounds like so.
I mean, I get, but I will say this though, and we're obviously not going to name a person. I will also say this though. Do you kind of think, though, that this person is telling this other person that because it has not been official and they do not want to fuck things up? Because it would be
the one person, let's just drop the name here. Max Anstey, Factory Cowie.
Well, we're not going to not drop the name of the person that he's talking to.
I get it.
That's what I was talking about.
So what I hear is he's putting something together, I believe, with the dude that owns the 83 compound.
Ethan Lane's dead?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that comment was made a while ago, too, but, like, I see that as a later thing.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm not, obviously, this person...
if I'm Max Anstey, man, I'm doing everything I can to get on that fucking Kawasaki.
This person
I don't give a shit about Ethan Lane's dad.
This person would obviously know better than me, but I'm just... My thinking is that he is not going to pass up an opportunity for this factory ride, and he is only saying that to the person to kind of cover his basis.
Maybe.
But obviously, I don't know. I feel that it's more likely that it's going to happen because the KTM thing is obviously not happening now.
Yeah.
So but anyways, those fried videos, I like them. I think the vibe with Ando in this summer is going to be good for him. It's going to be very, very good. I think he's going to keep the ball rolling, and he's going to have...
He might get a win because Hurlings isn't coming over now.
Well, he might come later in the year, but yeah.
Gives him time to get a win.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
It's going to be interesting because him and Fernandez ain't going to take no bullshit from each other.
Mm-hmm.
No, and then once again, you also got to... We'll get to
we'll get to that.
We got some other stuff.
All right, moving on. Stu, second. That was a good ride for him. He looked good.
The kit.
The all white?
The all white, but it had like the little blue accents for that Rockstar.
All white is so sick if you are a factory rider and they give you 18 sets to wear that day because otherwise it's fucking
stupid. Or if you're
stupid.
Nick Tomasunas, dude, he just runs the all white.
Yeah. That's fucking
has
dumb
for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, he's who I was riding with at Martin the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, him and Justin Hills, which he'd be kind of fun to get on the podcast as well. He's the bass guitarist for Sleeping with Simon.
Oh, yeah. That kid. Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun to get on and just talk about band shit, music shit. But anyway, it had the little blue accents from like the Endurance or whatever, the blue goggles. Oh, it was sick. It was good.
Well, good. Still on board with, we got one more round left.
He could win it.
One more fucking round.
Hey.
I don't know. Anderson, I think, wanting to win.
And Sexton, though, if he doesn't keep having brain farts and fucking being a space cadet.
Sexton going to Sexton.
Yeah.
He is going to Sexton.
Dude, Marv third.
Dude, very, very... I was thinking about this on the way
good
here, too. Like, fucking good season for Marv, man.
Fucking sucks the next time we're going to see him race after Salt Lake as an SX Global.
I mean, he can do both, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I was just making a shot at the fact that he's not going to be riding outdoors.
I mean,
ridiculous.
whatever.
I would love to get him on and ask him, like, if he wants to ride outdoors. Because maybe, because
I don't think he wants anything to do with it.
We're getting mixed. See, that's the thing is there's so much inconsistency because everything that I read is that he wanted to do it and KTM didn't offer it. And then there's that he didn't want to do it. And then there's a talk of that he did want to do it, but the money that they offered him for that was lowball.
Well, hey, this is motocross and supercross. We're never going to fucking know.
We're not transparent.
We're never going to know. So, I don't know, man. I think he'd be good outdoors. But it looks like KTM's going they're not going to win, so they're going with the create the buzz route.
They might get a win from a certain somebody, but
We'll talk about that in a little later.
Ooh.
We'll talk
222.
about that
You
later.
think Cairoli's going to win?
he could, dude.
I don't think his motivation.
I don't think either one of them are going to
I
win.
think he's here just to do it.
I think they'll do well, but neither one of them's going to win. Me and Hop are arguing about this right now. I'm trying to bet him $100 that Dungey won't even make a podium this year.
I'm not going to say Dungey, but Cairoli, dude, he was in the title fight last year. His speed is still there, and he's riding and training 3 times a week.
Let me put it this way: if either one of them is going to do it, Cairoli's going to be the one to do it.
for sure.
I keep trying to explain to Johnny that like you can't step out for 5 years and then just come back and be like, oh yeah, he's going to be a podium guy.
and
No
that's a
fucking way.
Perfect. That's why I want to get into coach.
And we're not gonna dive too deep into that until later in the show. But anyways, yeah, I mean, dude, how crazy was that? And we'll talk about it even more with the 250s with the back and forth there in qualifying. How crazy was it from Sexton to Marv that it was like what 0.3 of a second?
Oh yeah.
Both sessions.
This
Like,
is something though that has been talked about, not just by us but by other people, of how close it is for say like the top 10, and then you go back to like say early 2000, and it's like 5 seconds.
the disparity was huge.
Yeah. So, and then you wonder why these kids are coming out of these facilities, and it's not like Ricky Carmichael. Well, because everybody's got fucking facility now. Like back in the day,
And they ain't racing.
huh?
They're practicing.
They're not racing.
Well,
as
that's
much
a thing too. But I'm just saying, back in the day, you look at it. Everybody, like, who had a facility? Ricky, James, Chad. Those guys had facilities. They were the cream of the crop.
And then to go-
RV, Langston, those kind of people. Nowadays, every Joe fucking Blow is at fucking club,
MTF,
MTF,
GPF.
south of the border, GPF.
Real deal.
Everybody
83.
has these places now. So it's
Grindstone.
not. So I think that's what is creating the closeness that we're seeing. So, Sexton, bro,
Hey man, that line was sick when it worked.
dude,
I mean,
Fucking
that Suzuki
Sexton.
banner was right up on TV.
I just cannot like this fucking guy.
Every fucking time. And I'll say it
Every
again. And I'll say
fucking
it
time.
again.
Youth? You think that's what it is?
No,
How
man,
old is he?
I still
No.
stand by what I said last week. I think, and this is going to sound dumb, but since you're here, I've made this comment a few times now. I think he's almost too talented for his own fucking good. I
think so,
I think
too.
a lot of the times he doesn't use his brain. It's the same thing I've said about AC. I think he just reacts and goes off muscle memory, and I don't think he really processes the information around him. I think he is so fucking talented. A lot of people are like, well, that's dumb. But what was James Stewart? Too fucking talented for his own good.
Yep.
And now, granted, the crashes are a lot different sometimes, but I think that Sexton sometimes is so fucking good on a dirt bike that he just thinks that no matter what that thing does, he'll just pull his way out of it.
He just
Because he
dude,
pulled that line in practice. He was the first one to do it. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, he didn't mean to do that. He just kind of hit the edge and that popped him like the bike unloaded. And then I watched him do it again. And I'm like, if they're going to let him get away with that, that's going to be so much fucking quicker.
Look,
What
here's
was
the
he
thing.
doing? Popping up onto that
He
little
was
ledge?
literally, instead of like, because he was going to the outside in the whoops, and then how hard you have to brake to hit that. When a lot of guys were standing the bike up, they were hitting the edge of the wall, and they were just kind of like teeter-tottering. He would literally, as soon as you stand the bike up, he would angle and shoot straight to the outside, and then right middle way down the start straight, he'd pop back in, and it would straighten him out for the next section.
Look, here's the
So
thing.
he was kind of going like this
I have a fucking
angling
I have a
around.
fucking rant about this.
with him.
No, about at Dirtworks. Quit building these stupid fucking lips.
Hey, man,
in
Daniel
front of the
Blair
gate.
loves them.
Fuck,
I don't know.
fuck
BCMC
that.
did it this weekend after the whoops. Too,
I
so-
love, dude. I love Daniel Blair. That was the stupidest fucking thing. Like, dude, those
I don't
things are
like 'em.
so
They're
dumb because they hit him so
But-
hard. All they do is create a wave effect of a rut in it, and then at a certain point, and we saw Kev do this earlier in the year at one of them. You just hit that. You're not expecting it to wave over quite as hard as it does, and then you just got guys hitting the ground. It's fucking stupid.
Here's where I'm at with it. It's another obstacle on the track, man.
It's always
but
yeah,
it's
but
different.
it's always sketchy.
Well, the hard thing is, too,
Yeah,
It's
that's where the-
always sketchy.
What cream rises to the top?
What
dude.
Sexton did yesterday is the same thing that we've watched dudes do on these all fucking year. It's a stupid fucking thing. If you're gonna make a drop, make it like a fucking 4-foot tall drop. Then
Yeah.
like
I
make
like it
Don't
though.
make
Look
a
what it
fucking
did to
curb.
Sexton. It put him on the ground.
The hard
Caught him
thing-
off
It's
guard.
fucking dumb.
The hard
It's
thing about those-
fucking dumb.
The hard thing about those walls that they make, though, is that the way they have to lip them with being so small, they're so hard. So when people stand it up and they shift out on them, it just kind of unloads the suspension. But then when they're going across them on the start, they're packing it down and softening it. So then you're grabbing traction when you go over there, and then you have a Sexton ordeal where you literally just keep going.
Well, and then on
towards the
top of
fucking
that, they
bales.
always put those fucking tough blocks for the fucking mechanics to stand.
I wonder though.
right
if,
there.
I wonder though if Dirtworks, when they looked at that, and I don't know, like if you paid a lot of attention to where those bales, like the little bit of the gap that was there, though. I wonder if Dirtworks anticipated people riding up on that wall, because normally those like bales would be right on the
up on the
backside
wall.
of it, And there was like what, maybe
I don't know. Those
I'm gonna
fucking-
go with no.
Those
They-
things
You don't
are-
think they anticipated?
It's fucking dumb.
no.
It's fucking dumb. End of story.
I mean,
it's
they're
fucking
gonna keep
dumb.
they're gonna keep doing them though because they've done it for a long time, and I don't see them
And I'm
stopping.
going to be on here race tech ranting every single time about how fucking stupid it is because it does something like that yesterday, bites us, and then that cost us watching a good battle. Because let's face it,
Sexton probably could.
Anderson was coming.
Sexton, dude, I have to say again, as good as Anderson's been riding, I have to feel the same way I do about Atlanta. I feel like Sexton might have probably won that race.
Yeah,
I really do. I mean, Anderson
I
fucking
don't know,
rode good.
dude. I think
we'd had a
Anderson-
good battle on our hands. Either way.
Anderson, well,
All right,
reached
moving
him in the
on.
heat race, right? Ran him down.
Yeah,
What's that?
Anderson ran him down in the heat race.
Yeah, but
I caught that.
Sexton still won.
Oh yeah, 7 minutes. Anderson would have won it.
All right, moving on. Tomac 5th, but he wins the title, and very pumped to win that title. I mean, dude, he was one hand in that fucking trophy and everything. So good for him. 6th, Cooper Webb. Anybody got anything on Webb?
Not doing outdoors.
It's not going well.
Not doing outdoors.
Not going well.
I listened to Roger DeCoster's little post-race interview thing, and he was just like, "Yeah, he was not prepared coming into the season." Like, I think there's a lot of animosity there for not going.
It's
the
not
Baker
going
route.
well. It's
Not doing outdoors.
There's
I
a
think they're-
lot behind the scenes we're not hearing right now.
And Webb's the guy to rebel. And they're
Yeah,
pissed.
yeah.
They're pissed at him for not going to Alden's program or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
Webb's probably like, "All right, then fuck you guys."
What's the rumor though that he is going to plan on re-signing with KTM though?
So here's the thing I've been hearing. Tomac hasn't re-signed yet, correct?
Because he wants to see how the new bike.
Because he
is, yeah.
wants to ride the 23, which he hasn't got to
Oh,
yet.
they've got a new one out.
Yeah.
23 is going to be a new bike.
That's gonna be dope that they let him ride it though.
Yeah, no shit.
So
That's cool. I think that's cool.
There's a lot that happens quite frequently from what I understand with the factory guys. They get to ride the new bikes in advance. But that's why he hasn't
Before they sign, before locking
yeah.
them in.
But he hasn't signed because of that. Because I think he doesn't want to go from how good he was this year to having a new bike, KTM issues like this, like they had this year, next year with Yamaha, and be like, oh fuck, like no, I got to go another year because I get like now we've developed the bike or whatever.
Problem is what is he going to do? It's either that or retire. Because he ain't going to go to another fucking team.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then so the rumor that I'm hearing is that Webb
He wants to go back to Star, man.
Yeah.
wants to go back to Star, but what I'm hearing is he won't be able to go back to Star until Eli leaves. So if Eli signs for next year, Webb supposedly is going to sign a 1-year extension with KTM, ride next year with them again, and then in 24 go to Blue
That's
Crew.
the puzzle piece then? Because I thought Ferrandis was the puzzle piece.
Nope.
So
Ferrandis
Ferrandis
is
is locked.
not the puzzle piece.
He's locked.
I don't know.
Because I had heard...
Ferrandis is. I haven't heard about Ferrandis going back to Star. I've heard about Ferrandis
I think
going to fucking
going to KTM.
KTM
I think Ferrandis
Okay,
had a
so
lot
yeah,
of
pure
shit that he wants
speculation
to do.
here. He goes to KTM. There's the spot for Webb.
or Cowie.
Well, he also even I told you this. He showed interest before the Gas team that he wanted to be on that team even before.
No
Barsha.
one will be on Gas
No.
until Barsha retires.
But what I'm saying is
that's
that if he threw his name in the water and he threw interests, that
Yeah.
would start a chain effect of different things going on. But yeah, I mean, Coop just bad year and gonna make it worse when he doesn't ride outdoors. So yeah, there's that.
yeah. So
yeah.
all right, moving
SF
on.
Global, baby.
Barsha 7th. All right. Brayton 8th.
That
Oldenburg,
sexy
another
motherfucker.
good ride for 9th.
God, Oldenburg on that 450 is so fucking good.
Hey, Brayton, didn't he miss around this year?
Who?
Brayton?
Brayton.
Yeah, he missed it.
Still
what?
top 10 in points.
Yeah,
I know, it's
he
impressive.
missed around. He had COVID.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That was
Yeah,
back
it was
at-
like second or third round.
Yeah, that was back
Yeah,
in
it was
the
early.
Cal-
That was
California
the-
rounds.
Didn't he weed it up and not run one too?
Well, he also he got hurt in Indianapolis. Remember with Bogle?
Yeah. Oh,
When
yeah.
Bogle hit him.
Yeah. So he didn't ride Indy either.
Or no,
yeah.
he hit Bogle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he hit Bogle because remember he
Okay,
wanted
so
to
he
whoops.
was out 2 rounds.
He was out 2
Yeah.
rounds. Yep, because he knocked himself silly.
COVID that round,
And then he
didn't
was in
come back again. So
Yeah, he was in concussion protocol.
so 3 round.
Yeah, no, it's
And
impressive.
still
dude.
top 10 in points.
Fucking last hurrah. Well, until SX Global happens, he's been solid, dude, all year. I mean, I wonder how of a weird. It's not like it's been the first time it's ever happened to him when he's had bad races, but like he got lapped last night, and I wonder for him, like he got lapped and it wasn't a situation where he was struggling. How weird of a feeling that is for him. So once again, it's not the first time in his
I think
career.
a lot of guys were like, "Fuck this track, let's get
Oh,
out
dude,
of
that
here."
shit was fucking concrete, bro. That track
Yesterday?
was-
Oh, yeah. It was
But
terrible.
what I'm saying is, I just wonder for him, he's just like, oh, this is just how this year is. This is how fucking good these 3 guys are.
Yep. Chiz 10th. Hartraft 11th. Brees 12th.
Fucking Ryan Brees, man. Friend of the show. That fucking guy, dude. I don't give a fuck what everybody says. Oh, there's all these guys out. Ryan Brees has had a good fucking year.
He's a good fucking rider.
He's a good fucking
rider.
I'm happy for that dude, man. I'm happy for that kid. He has had a good freaking year. And when we had him on the show talking about how hard his season was leading up, or how hard things were to scramble to get a ride going for this year,
Yep.
I'm happy for that dude. I really hope he fucking made some money this year.
Yeah.
And we'll, still make some. Well, yeah, no, make some money for the LCQ challenge next week.
Yep. All right, let's keep moving here.
Speaking of the LCQ challenge, one more week of people are doing like these sponsorship things or whatever. You should do like Moto Aftermath Show. We'll sponsor this and some Paul blocks it.
That'd be fucking funny.
Sorry again to cut you off, but more funny things about that. Vince Freezy was like, "Yeah, I was gonna put some money up for your race, Steve, for the Vince Freezy best takeout, but I guess Fed said no."
Awesome.
You also see that Stank Dog got blocked from entering it.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Stank got blocked from entering it.
Got blocked from it. He didn't qualify.
He could have been a wild card.
Oh, he
and
could have
He could have been
been,
a wild card, and Steve was like,
said,
"No,
fuck you."
Okay, well, that's what happens when you run off at the mouth. I mean,
Yeah.
like, dude, don't, like...
Yeah, but I think it's just petty. I think that was petty, and I think it's petty on Steve's part.
I was going to say, it's...
You know who's petty?
Who?
Christian Craig.
Oh, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
We'll get
here in a
into that.
second.
We're
We'll
gonna
get
get
into
into
that.
I listened to a
second.
Tristan Charbonneau interview while I was driving last.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear about all that?
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, too, Tristan Charbonneau is kind of a peckerhead.
Hold on, let's finish up the 450s. We'll
Yeah,
jump
sorry,
right into
sorry,
250s
sorry.
here.
Petty.
Because we got to get through this because we got people
Yep,
coming on.
Petty page.
Starling 14th, Norin 15th, Politelli 16th, Marshall Welton on the 250.
Fucking showing up with
Dude, he
black.
wore the
17th.
straps, dude.
Yeah,
showing
dude,
up
that
with
was
black.
awesome.
Showing up with black backgrounds, and Daniel goes, "I don't think you're allowed to do that." So he had fucking duct tape numbers on his fucking
Yeah.
bike.
That's awesome. Moran's 18th, John Short 19th, Rod Bell. Can we talk about that Rod Bell takeout?
Once again, 2 weeks in a row, fucking just dive bombing the fuck out of anybody that's in front of him.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like, bro, it's the first lap and you're in second. Clayson is not a dude you want to piss off.
Oh, man.
Clayson, I hope Clayson just fucking.
Clayson's so mad.
He
so
should be.
mad.
That's
I know he's
bullshit.
trying to get 20th in points.
Well,
He
he's kind
should
of a
be, dude.
whiny baby anyway.
Yeah. Bogle 21st. The fuck happened there?
Nah,
Oh, running top 10, dude. Guess who picked him in fantasy?
Hey, don't worry. It was a great day for all of us.
oh yeah, yesterday was bad for all.
How
of
many
us.
did you have in the main? Did you have 8?
I saw that I had 6 in there, and I haven't even looked at my score
Yeah, I
yet.
had
I was
6
just like,
too.
it's so
I had-
fucking bad,
I
I'm
had
not even
5.
going to look.
And Henry Miller rounding out in 22nd there.
I saw he was down.
Henry Miller?
Yeah, I think the ledge took him out, too.
All right, let's move on to 250s here real quick. We got about 15 minutes before Kev's going to come on, and then we're going to start rolling right through guests here. So if we don't get all the way through some 250 stuff, we can pick it up at the end here. All right, so 250s. Hunter Lawrence wins, and man, that Anaheim 3 race just keeps fucking coming back to haunt us. He'd be
pure
leading.
bench racing here.
Yes.
I did some number crunching and stuff. It'd be tied up going into the shootout.
It'd be tied? Because he's only down by 18, so when he got 23 for that, so he'd got 20...
yeah, I guess I'm
22
fucked up.
more points than he has right now, so he'd be leading by 4. Now,
He would be leading.
he would be leading by
I thought it'd
4
be
at
tied
this
up.
point.
See, math
If
wasn't my
everything
best
else was the
subject in
same, but he just
How crazy-
stayed on the 2 wheels and got second
How
in
crazy is
A3.
it to think that Craig, as dominant as he was at the beginning of the season, and I didn't realize this, he only has 4 wins. Like, we talked about how dominant he was, and he's only got 4 wins.
Can we talk about? I'm still not convinced he's going to win.
So here's
Can
my
we all-
bench. Here's my bench. We're pure bench racing.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
are.
Hunter
Pure bench
Lawrence, though,
racing.
has been fucking good these last 3
Let
rounds.
me be real
So
honest with
this
you, he's a
is-
good fucking rider.
So yeah, here's
Hunter's brother.
here's my theory.
Hunter's
thing,
brother's
like,
a good fucking rider.
Like if Hunter would have indeed had to ride the opposite coast, we would have had this guy the whole season,
Yes.
and that would have been dangerous.
Here's-
for Craig.
Dude,
Here's a big question for you guys. Does Jet fuck with Craig next week?
That's what we're thinking.
He's got a title. He's got his title already. He's got his title. They can't take the title away from him. So
Do you really think the Jet wants to jeopardize getting possibly hurt by doing something stupid? I understand it's for his
I
brother.
bet
think he's
I
gonna
bet he
get
rides
hurt.
Craig a little harder.
I think
Yeah, because
I think
don't
he's
see-
gonna ride Craig right off that fucking track.
I don't think off the track, but he'll make it hard on him.
Yeah.
I bet he does.
Ah, man,
I bet he pushes him right in a corner, or he fucking stops right below him in a corner.
Oh,
and-
dude, Craig will be pissed.
But see, here's the thing, though. you don't think that Bobby Regan, his star, is already having that in the back of their mind?
Who the fuck do they got that can keep up with them other than Craig?
Here's my thing.
Thrasher can't. Everybody else is out.
You don't need to keep up with them, bro. Move over on him on the fucking start.
I said yesterday, dude, literally as I was watching the main yesterday, I was sitting there with Ashley. I looked and saw Hunter was starting right next to Craig, and I said, dude, if I'm Hunter, I go out of that gate and I immediately hook a left.
Because think about it, East-West shootout next week, so you're going to have Craig, Chiz, and Well, is Chiz going to be on the 250, or is it going to be Thrasher?
They'll put him on it, I think, for this.
Okay. I don't know. Where's he at in points? He wants that 20th place, too. 20th place is 10 grand,
unless Bobby Regan goes,
writes him a check for 10 grand.
Yeah, which we obviously know. So I understand what you're saying. No, as far as keeping up with them, no, you're totally correct. But with this being the East-West shootout, and obviously those times are going to be real all over the place for gate picks.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't think that Bobby Regan going thinking the same thing because he's been in this situation before and going, dude, I fuck it if I can. I'm putting Thrasher and Chiz. If they want to play that game, I'm putting them. I'm sandwiching Jet.
Star plays the games too.
Yeah, Star. No, I mean, look, Shane McElrath and Chase Sexton and Colt Nichols.
You know the Lawrence boys can play the game. And Craig, man, you play the mind games with Craig, he's fucked.
Look at yesterday. I have said
Which, by the way, did I not call that shit?
When he
said he was
gets
going to
pressure,
crash.
He crashes.
I said he was going to fucking crash when we called last week's show. I said Hunter's going to win and Craig's going to crash.
This is what he does. He did it last year.
Well, this reminds like the Petty Craig thing.
Yeah,
like, you've heard the Charbonneau story.
I heard. Was this an interview from recently or a while ago? Because he did
Big MX Radio guy did it.
Okay, so it must have been from a while ago because he came out and he fucking laid everything that had went on with different things from when he was with Geico. He was around all that shit. He basically outlined his whole career.
Well, I'll summarize it. They were out. He came in as the amateur, and Craig was supposed to take him under the wing and all
Tristan
that.
Also, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, Tristan Charbonneau was a hot shoe. Like, he was pegged to be a very talented dude.
Yeah, pure talent. He said he never worked or did anything.
He didn't do shit.
Yeah, they were out at the track, and Christian was supposed to kind of take him under the wing. Marjak was the team owner. Was like, hey, you're going to work under Christian, blah, blah, blah. And then Marjak ended up jacking him around pretty good.
Yeah.
And but anyway, they were out at the track and was going like 2 seconds a lap faster than Craig.
Yeah.
So they started Craig 30 seconds ahead. They did a 30-minute moto. He laid the bike over so far into a corner, ripped the shroud out. In 2 of the 3 30-minute motos, caught Craig past him, put 15 seconds on him. After that day, Craig, Page, and even Jagger's account unfollowed him on Instagram, never said a word to him again.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
And then he said he was going over to every time he was over at the Craig's house, Paige was drunk on Fireball.
Dude, this is like the fucking
shocker.
This is like the Dunge Nico thing when Nico went pro. Like, he used to fucking smoke Dunge at the test track, and Dunge was like, if Nico's riding today, I'm not going to be here. I don't care if we're testing or not.
Percent pie. Which is more likely to happen next week? Jet fucks with Craig and costs Craig the title.
Hunter owes him one from early in the season too.
Or Craig takes himself out in practice trying to be a hot ass.
Here's the thing.
Jet jeopardizes Craig's championship.
I think it's more likely.
Or
I think it's more likely
Craig conquers the competition.
Craig takes himself out because I just don't see Jet going in that situation because Bobby Regan will pay if he has any inkling that Jet's going to fuck with Craig. He'll just pay Thrasher and Chiz to take out Jet.
But I don't think you're going to have an inkling. I think it's just going to come down to they're in the main, and those 2 boys are going to sit in that truck, and Jet's going to be like, look, dude, I'll make some shit happen.
He'll die for his brother.
Here's the thing, though, is what's exactly he going to do, though? Like
I don't know what he can
outside
do.
of sawing off his front end, though, what is he really going to do to fuck with Christian? Because we do know the disparity between Hunter, Jet, Christian, and Faulkner compared to everybody else in the class.
Yeah. You know what
unless Jet and Christian are dead last, which I highly fucking doubt is going to happen, what is he going to do?
You started in practice.
That's what I think. But that's the thing, though. If you have the inkling that's going to happen in practice, Bobby Regan's going to know ahead of time. You don't think that he fucking pulls Thrasher aside and goes, "Hey, dude,
but here's the thing.
They're already in Craig's head at that point.
Yeah, but here's the thing. First off, you're correct. Craig is already thinking about next week, going, "Fuck." Now Jet's going to be around too, because let's face it, Jet can keep up with him. We all know this, okay?
Yes.
And then here's the thing: Jet's not going to be around him until the main. So there isn't going to be any fucking with him. He's only fucking with himself in the head. And then when you get in the main, all it's going to take is for Jet to be on the inside of him in a corner, and he's going to fucking flip. he's going to be like, oh, fuck, here it comes, or some shit like that. He'll make a mistake.
What's Christian got to get, though, next week to beat? Just for all...
He's got to be out of the top 10, I think, right?
Yeah,
dude,
like
I have
it's going to be really hard to do.
and I totally don't disagree. It's not like we haven't seen this shit before, but I have a hard time seeing that outside of Jet sawing off Christian's front end, what's he going to do that's really going to affect Christian to getting outside of the
because you got to
10?
remember the rest of that field is like, fuck this. It's the last round. Let's get out of here.
But here's the thing. All it takes is what Craig did this weekend, a tip over. Come on, dude. All it takes is a tip over. Bend that fucking shifter, bend that clutch lever, bend the fucking front rotor, something. All it takes is a tip over, dude. That's all it takes. And the other thing is, all it takes too is like Jet just rides him wide in the corner. Christian tries to just cut down a little bit at the end.
Hunter runs over that, drops the clutch.
Well, no,
on it.
I'm just saying hits. You get axle nut and axle nut hit. Boom. Craig goes down. Craig tries to come back through again. Boom. One more time. He's outside. I don't think he can recover twice in a main event.
Yeah, but Jet ain't gonna wait around that bad.
Jet doesn't have to wait around. We all just talked about it.
If Craig
he's
gets
coming
into
through
ninth,
the pack,
he's staying in ninth and getting his title.
Well, that could be.
And if
thing
Craig
there.
rips a 5th place hole shot and Jet's buried for whatever reason,
But I'm not
I don't
convinced.
see Jet pushing the pace to go track down Craig.
I'm not convinced he's not going to take himself out.
Why I said it's more likely that Christian takes himself out,
Yes.
because as crazy as that would be and as wild as it would be, especially for us, this is what we do to talk about it, the things that would have to line up for that to fucking happen. And once again, like, I don't see a scenario where Jet will risk because, okay, so think about this too. You got to think of the other side of that, and this is the last thing I'll say about this. Say that if Jet fucks over Christian and Christian has a realization that, well, the title's gone now, he just goes, well, Jet, guess what? I'm riding 450s outdoors. I don't give a fuck about you, and fucking takes Jet out and hurts him. Because if you remember last year, Christian did fucking run Jet right off the fucking track in Indianapolis, and you could say that might have cost Jet a championship. So if Christian in his mind is going, this little shithead just cost me a championship, I'm not riding this bike again this year. Fuck you, dude. I'm going to ruin your outdoor season, and I'll take you out. And Christian, we know, once again, the petty thing, does not have no qualms about saying, this little fuck just cost me a championship. I will ruin the rest of his fucking season.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's even going to get to that point.
I don't
we're
think
gonna
so
have to worry
either.
about it. I think mentally, Craig is cracked. We saw it this weekend.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you whiskey throttle off the back in a fucking
that little hip was like, it was wild too, because that was like
it's probably like it got to the hard base underneath and let it rip.
Well, I also think that like he shifted a little bit too far to the inside and the bike got away from him. But I thought what was funny is he goes, yeah, you're like, I almost rode it out, and I'm watching him going, dude, when that bike planted, you were off the rear fucking wheel.
When he said
you
that,
didn't almost ride it out.
When he said that, as we're watching it, I'm going,
I'm like, you were not even close,
I almost rode out a lot of crashes. I'm rolling on my head in red button. I
Bro.
almost rode that out, bro.
It's like when Politelli tried to grab the back of Bogle's fucking bike, and he's like, fuck you.
Oh, God, that was awesome.
Yeah. But no, man, hey, didn't I call that shit, though? I said Craig was going to fucking crash. It was going to be bad.
Yep.
But he was going to crash, and sure as shit, I'm like, funny.
There it is. So, all right. So, Hunter wins. Mosman second. Mosman did Mosman things.
Wow, he held it together, huh?
Didn't hold it together in the heat race, though.
Nope.
But he held it together in the main.
Yep. Craig came back to third. Not a surprise.
Joe, though, making it a little bit hard on him.
Yeah.
How hard? Joe's been riding pretty good the last couple of rounds.
He has.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, good for that kid.
I used to hate on Joe. Remember my Joe hater?
Flying
day?
in like a bomb. Sorry, that was me.
Oh damn.
That was racist.
And
now we're canceled.
I was
a
like,
lot.
man, why the
200
fuck did they
shows, and
sign
now
this
we're
kid?
canceled.
But I like him. I think he's cool.
Well, it's because he fucking started riding like how he was last year instead of trying to be
well,
something
that
he's
and I
not.
like his. It's kind of like his little Japanese style and personality kind of thing.
When he took Christian wide, though, coming back across the start straight, I'm like, is he actually going to run Christian off the track? He's like, fuck you, dude.
Dude, I thought he was
Dude,
going
he's fighting
to.
for it, like
He
the
was.
Jet thing in Atlanta.
Well, dude, Joe is battling for third in the points.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
like, it's not like I imagine, I don't know how big it would be, but his bonus has probably got to be decent for getting top three in the points. He's like, dude, fuck
Myrtle probably works some pretty good bonuses.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Joe fourth, Marchbanks fifth. I heard it's all mental with him at the races.
Well, and I think he's looking forward to being on that 450 outdoors.
Yeah, probably. Freeze 6th. Good fucking ride.
rider,
Can
dude.
we talk about that moment, like with 3 minutes to go between, and I don't know
pack
if you
of
saw,
like 8 fucking
fucking
Oh my
Freeze,
God, dude.
fucking Thrasher, Wageman, who else was in there?
Fuck everybody.
Swole,
Blows.
like it's some, yeah. I'm
was
pretty
a
sure they were
fucking
lapping.
gangbang
They were
there,
lapping
Jesus
Blows
Christ.
and Mitchell, and I'm pretty sure Derek Kelly was in there. And I'm like, dude,
No, they weren't lapping him.
I thought they were lapping Blows.
That's for position.
No, that was for position.
Okay, so I'm like, this is the most amount of guys I've literally seen all in the same section at any point of a main event this year.
100%.
And then they all
Ever,
checked up on
maybe.
and they all checked up in the finish, and like Vince is like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna jump it.
Well, then they about landed on Swole on the triple.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be like,
yeah.
I'd be like,
Swole
oh.
fucking rolls the triple like a dumb fuck.
Yeah, Blows was like, thought I was done.
Wow,
Pulled it out.
that would just be Jalik's fucking. That would be his whole
That's
thing.
Jalik's MO. That's the second time this year he's rolled a triple in a fucking precarious
Well,
situation.
and I'm pretty sure too, Wageman on the outside, he hucked it behind Vince, and he just kind of looked down, and he's like, probably thinking, well, this is gonna be interesting.
Bold move, Cotton.
Bold fucking move.
All right, so Blow 7th, Robbie Wageman 8th.
Not Blos's last year, by the way.
No,
That's
it
what
is.
we've heard. No,
No, he said he's not.
Nope,
he-
just listen to an interview straight out of the horse's mouth. He's like, I don't know where people are getting that, but
Weird.
I'm done.
so who?
That's what I
This
thought.
is literally a Steve
I don't know.
post-race podcast.
Yeah.
And maybe he changed his mind after that round.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
He's like, I don't know where people are getting that, but I'm done.
Yeah.
Thrasher 9th.
It's probably gonna.
Doing great on that Star Yamaha.
Hey man, bad start. Bad start.
Ready
He was.
for
Pa-
outdoors.
Put Deegan out there to get 9th. I mean, fuck.
he'll be better. He'll be better outdoors.
I'm surprised you didn't go over to Redbud just to suck him off.
I'm not that big of a Deegan fan,
I
but I
would've-
did watch the vlogs.
I would have gone there to watch LeBlanc. That's
I watched the Redbud.
Deegan
vlog.
looked good. Have you watched his videos from Red
I
Bull?
watched
took him a few laps to get around Janik.
I watched the first. Well, yeah, Janik's been giving him trouble since they were on
Yeah.
Super Minis. Yeah, I watched the first video.
He looked pretty good.
pretty good. I mean, he's gonna get smoked at Loretta.
We'll see. Anyway,
Got all the tools there, man.
Swole 10th. How'd that -1 on fantasy work out for you? With
I didn't
Swole?
pick him.
Okay,
That was a good decision.
Good choice.
That was a good fucking decision.
Derek Kelly 11th.
But Sanford decided to not.
yeah,
make the
fuck
main, so-
Maxwell Sanford.
Thury
What
12th.
the fuck was that in the LCQ?
Mumford 13th. Stapleton 14th.
I wonder if
Surratt
Mumford.
15th.
I wonder if Mumford's got a little bit of a nagging injury going on because he's kind of been on the
It's
decline.
bad.
He's been on the decline,
Yeah, it's
which he
bad.
started the season pretty good. And then he's been on a
He got
decline.
lapped in the heat race.
Yeah, and then he went to the LCQ and didn't even fucking beat Jaron Stapleton.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, he passed him.
Did he?
Yeah, and then Stapleton jumped on the red cross. line.
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
what
like,
it was.
oh, Sanford's in, but they only docked him one spot.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
went from second to fourth.
AMA never changed.
Never changed.
Harrison 16th, Harriman 17th, Brandon Ray 18th, McKellen Heil 19th,
Harrison to Canada.
Nagy 20th,
Should.
Jai Roberts.
You're the Harrison Whisperer.
I
but
told you, man, I haven't talked
read
to him.
he's going to Canada.
Well, I mean, that's
Gas
good for him.
Canada team.
I haven't talked to him in a while. Him or his dad.
Jai Roberts 21st, and Carson Brown 22nd. Sweet.
So Jai Roberts fucking makes a fucking main, his first main of his career through the heat race, and Brandon Ray just fucking makes it in. Like, of course, just two
He's
people
made a
that
few this year.
that you wouldn't think would do well. I don't even know who the fuck Jai Roberts is.
I don't know either.
Good for him though.
All right, first up here for our guest, friend of the show, privateer hero. It's going to be Mr. Kevin Morant, and he is going to be brought to you by our friends at the Dirt Bike Depot. If you need some new moto gear but don't want to pay those expensive retail prices, shop the Dirt Bike Depot for all your moto gear needs. Gear sets, boots, helmets, goggles, and more. They specialize in athlete-only boots as well as a ton more items that you can't buy in stores. Follow them on Instagram at Dirt Bike Depot and DM them with any questions you may have. It's Dirt Bike Depot rider Kevin Morans. Hi, buddy.
Yo, what up?
Yo, what's up with you?
Oh, just driving.
Bro, heard we're getting a Supercross track at the compound.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I did. I'm on my way to fucking ride, bro.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Travis says he's going triple.
Because no dig, no ride, brother.
I'll come down there with a shovel in a few
That's what I
weeks.
like to hear.
Just dig out a couple of the
Yeah,
pockets of the
bring a
faces.
just bring a dozer with you.
I don't have a dozer.
Carlton Equipment's right here.
If I had a dozer, I would bring it. And I'm not
Well,
going to
I think
hit
we might need
whoops.
to rent one then.
I'm out on hitting whoops.
You're out on this triple you're claiming.
I'll go 3-3 on off and then
What, on
fuck
the
it.
pit bike track?
What?
What, on the pit bike track?
No,
The
man.
only
dude,
3
full
3
super-
on off you're doing on the Xbox.
We're doing full Supercross. We're doing full Supercross at the Moran's compound, bro.
I can't wait.
I'm so pumped. I'm looking for
Can't wait
suspension
till
right now.
I can't wait till your forks just bottom.
I'm looking for
out.
suspension right now. I'm gonna get a set up specifically for Supercross,
Yeah, I don't
bro.
think you understand.
All right.
how
Anyways,
gnarly
Kevin,
it
how's
is.
it going, bud?
I
Did
don't
you-
think you're going to be able to ride my Supercross track, brother.
Bro,
That's what I'm saying.
hey, I'm in on this. I got to practice
Hey,
2
we're
miles
not-
from here. I'm coming down
We're
there.
not here to talk about your fantasy land. We're here to talk about Kevin's night last night.
It's
And
not
hey, man,
fantasy. I'm shreddy on the soupy
But-
soupy.
Kev, you survived last night.
I am pretty excited about the whole situation because yes, we are hopefully going to be building a actual Supercross track at the house right after Supercross season this year.
Fuck yeah.
At least, not necessarily. Not saying the track is going to be completely done within the week that we start, but the pad and moving all the dirt and shaving everything and getting all the drainage set up like that. The hard part is hopefully going to be done in about 2 weeks from now.
Sweet.
who you
who's
having
building
come
it?
in to do it? Yeah.
So, long story short, there's a family, Blaufus family. They're from around Topeka and whatnot. He does some dirt work and some what is it like when you work? Landscape stuff like that. And he's getting ready to get a new dozer. He's looking into getting a new dozer, so he's gonna kind of test it out at my property.
Sick.
So he's kind of, it's like his test week or whatever. So he's kind of using me as his guinea pig while also it benefits me too. So it's kind of helping both of us, which is really sweet. So he's got a dozer that he's going to have coming. He's got a skid loader and he's got a mini excavator. So there's 3 pieces of equipment right there. I've got Sean Bonner and Duke's Reynolds on board. I think they're going to be dropping off a skid loader as well. As soon as we get back. So the projected start date right now is May 11th. So then I think Justin Starling's going to swing back through because he's driving back from Salt Lake back to Florida. And I think he's going to stop at my house. So he'll hopefully be able to run that machine. And then I've got another company out of Salina who's kind of on board to help. Because I threw it out there that if there's anybody in the Midwest, whatever, that's kind of, would love to help a privateer out and wants to come join the dirt moving party, bring it on, and I'll pay for whatever fuel we use. So they reached out, and they're going to bring a dump truck and another skid loader. Then I reached out to Tracy Freeman, which is who built our track that we have now originally. He's pretty booked up, but hopefully he'll be able to bring a dozer out for a couple days. And if that doesn't work, then I'm in the works right now to try to find like a wheel loader and another dozer that we can maybe rent because it's going down.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds sick.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of time here with you because we got a 7 o'clock guest.
Sweet.
Big questions I have here. Tell me
Yes,
about
hit me.
this new diet you're on.
It sucks. So
Can't eat rolls?
Long story short, my body has been struggling. I was concerned that Epstein-Barr was coming back, so I ended up getting tested for it. It came back negative, but we found some other things, and it's heavily related to diet and just a lot of stuff that my body's just not able to break down and recover correctly just because I'm just full of crap, more or less, full of sandwiches.
Boo.
Oh, you still there?
The end of the road on my sandwich game. So, yeah, biggest thing is just cutting out bread, gluten, all that kind of stuff, dairy, to try to detox for a few weeks.
Oh,
Boo.
Oh.
Oh, he's gone.
nope.
He's
Hold
gone.
on. Hold on. We're not dead in the water yet. Maybe we're dead in the water. Kev. Great radio.
Good thing there's a lot of service in the studio.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm not sure this is our end. I have service still. Huh. All right. Well,
Wow.
hold on. Let's
You
try
need
that
to
again.
figure out. So what I think the Pulp Boys do is since they're on Wi-Fi, they do FaceTime.
Yeah. Well, we're not on Wi-Fi out here either yet.
Not yet.
See, this isn't on our end.
He's
This is
on
on his
keto.
end.
He's probably still talking.
Probably.
And we're not going to get him back.
Moran, sorry I didn't get to the phone.
Aw, Gabe.
Oh, that's very professional.
That's very professional.
Wow.
I want to ask him about. I mean, we don't have time today, but the whole getting into the video game process, and they scan you and all that kind of stuff.
Let's see. How's that snack going over there? It's going well? This is a great part of the show. Sorry,
Freaking
bro.
hillbillies.
Hello, this is Kevin Moran.
Oh, man.
Wow, this has never happened with Kev.
No. Well,
Where's he at? He's
I don't know. He's
Said he was
driving
back.
somewhere.
Probably driving through fucking Iowa or something.
Yeah, he's driving somewhere.
Wait, but is he driving back home or is he driving to Salt Lake?
No, he's driving back home. I think he's driving home.
He's
I don't
probably
know.
fucking driving through Salt or Iowa or some
He's probably
shit.
up in
maybe.
the mountains going over to.
Maybe. All right. Well, we got about 10 minutes here before we've got our next guest coming up. So, boys want to take a quick break here, and then we'll
Sure.
pop back in with Eric Grondahl and, yeah, go from there. So,
Sure.
quick break. We'll be right back. All right. So, next guest up here on the show, friend of the show, sponsor of the show, it's Eric Grondahl, brought to you by Adept Creative Co. Check them out at adeptmx.com for all your custom graphic needs. And the only thing that I have a gripe about is that they don't install the graphics for you because I absolutely suck at that.
Hey, man, those graphics on that 450 look real good.
Installed by our friend Kevin Moranz. So anyway, on the phone with us, it's Eric Grondahl. Hey, bud, what's up?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, it's going.
It's a rainy day in
Shitty in
Michigan,
Michigan.
bro.
Michigan is
Yeah.
not looking too hot right
Yeah,
No.
it's terrible.
It was supposed to rain here in Florida, but it just missed us.
Oh, okay. Now you're Central Florida, correct?
Yep,
Whereabouts? Like,
Claremont.
oh, okay.
It's like
now. Right in the hub.
Right in the
Moto,
hub.
Moto Hub.
yeah, 30 minutes west of Orlando. So
Sick.
like dead smack in the center.
Sick.
Nice.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, there's plenty of facilities around here.
Claremont's like the Tallahassee of old, because back in the day it was like Tallahassee was like the Moto Hub, and now just Claremont's been that
Yep.
way for like 8 years or whatever it's been.
Yeah, now
Tallahassee,
it's
air
like
quotes.
Yeah, closer to the Georgia line,
was
but you don't.
K-Row.
Anybody that knows. So yeah, that's just funny that it's moved around over the past 10 years.
Yeah, whatever.
oh
It's
yeah,
fine.
and then kind of everyone went to Cali, and now everyone's coming from Cali to Claremont.
It's because California sucks.
California's just a
Yeah.
shithole of despair at this point. It's fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah,
So,
I wasn't a fan of that place when I lived out there.
No.
Yeah. So, so before we get rolling here, Eric, I gotta thank you
Yep.
for some stuff in my past life.
Oh,
God,
Jesus,
here
here
we
we go.
I just think it's so funny how it's come back around. So, 2013, Loretta Lynn's, the 450B class. You were
Yep.
down there, broke your collarbone.
But he doesn't think it's awesome.
You probably don't think that's awesome, but I do. I got the spot. I'm the guy that got the spot.
Oh, no way.
Yep, I'm the guy that got the
That
spot.
is too funny. Yeah, I was pissed.
Oh, I remember,
was
man.
first
We were
year
down
that I
there,
was
and
like-
I was
Yeah.
alternate, and saw you in a sling, and I'm like, oh man, I think I might be in.
You know
So
what the funny part is that my buddy from New England, Alex Higley, got my spot in 250B mod.
in the other class,
Yeah, in the other class that I was down there in.
You want to
So
tell Eric
That's too
what you
funny that now I've met both people that got in because of my injury.
yeah, that's funny. You probably never expected to get on this podcast and hear that.
want to
so.
tell Eric what you did with all what you did that year with that stroke of luck?
I mean, I put it in the top 20 for you. So. I think I ended up 16th overall. Which was-
Where'd you run in top 10 in that
Wow,
mud moto?
that's awesome.
We're doing in top 10 in that mud moto at one point. I thought you were running like
the
ninth.
first one I was and went down. I was in like 8th, and then I
It was the moto that Mick Swain like lapped everyone or some shit.
Yeah, yep. And then I think I ended up 12th or something. That was my first trip ever, and only trip to Loretto so far. So, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, that was my third year. But yeah, hey, I'm happy I could help someone out that week. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was pretty upset.
So that leads me kind of into leads me into one of my questions for you. So that year, you guys had the team started. Was that the first or second year you guys were doing kind of an amateur program? Or,
That was the second year, I believe.
okay, so I remember just seeing the SK Energy shots on the side.
Yep.
And I thought that was
Yep.
really interesting because I knew that was part of 50 Cent's deal, I believe. So
Yep.
are you able to go into any detail on how that came about? Was it connected in with Planet Fitness, or what was the deal there? 'Cause I always thought that was
so
pretty interesting.
My dad was an investor in SK at the beginning. And so like we got to meet 50 Cent and stuff. He came to the Planet Fitness headquarters and had a meeting with us. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought I was a very cool kid in 9th grade when that happened.
Oh yeah, you were bumping Disco Inferno for like a week.
Oh God.
But yeah, no, and then the deal went a little bit south, and they didn't do too well, and they slowly fizzled out of business.
Oh, what was
But
that? I wonder what 50 Cent
yeah,
was like
I mean,
in
it
person.
looked cool. I felt like our setup was really cool.
Yeah, I remember. It was real cool.
It was me, Hayden Melross, and Luke Clout.
Dude, that I've told these guys about this. I remember seeing you guys. I don't remember what the first national I saw you guys roll up to the first year you guys did it, but I'm like, because obviously back then everybody had like a huge rig, and I gotten to the point now it's just like the semis and stuff, the team deals. But I'm like, who the fuck is rolling up to all these nationals with like just 3 guys, and they're not affiliated at that point with like any of the factory teams. And then you guys were just killing it that year at every national. I'm like, oh, like this is actually a legit thing. Then obviously, like like everybody knows how well Luke did that year.
Good results.
Yeah, I mean,
Those
Luke
guys got us some good results. They were fast.
Luke killed it that year. That was the year that he won a
Yeah.
B title at Loretta's, right?
I don't know if he won the title, but I think he won a moto or 2.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that was so long ago. I know that Hayden Melross, he broke his hand in the very first moto, and so that was a big bummer for him and the team. But
2 Aussie legends.
yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was fun because they were my homies at the time, so it was fun to travel around and go to the races together and just represent cool companies.
You still talk to Luke at all? Because dude, that guy's a character.
No, I haven't talked to Luke in a while. I talk to Hayden every now and then.
Yeah,
but those dudes are both killing it down in Australia. I think Luke's like multi-time champion down there now, and Hayden's. I watched one of their races last year on YouTube, and they had a pretty good battle going. It was cool to watch just because like I used to watch them battle all the time in the amateurs, and like even at the practice track at MTF, those dudes would go at it all the time.
Yeah, I would say outside of Jet and Hunter, obviously, that like Luke is probably the most well-known Aussie dude. Because I think he won the 450 title. I think he won the 450 title outdoors last year, and everybody knows like that insane battle when Josh Hill was over there for the AusX series. That like those two went back and forth.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I was bummed that the whole Supercross deal didn't really work out for Hayden or Luke.
Yep.
Because I felt like because Luke didn't come over here for very long. I think he only did that 1 year of Supercross here, and he did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he was top 10 every race.
Yep.
And then, Hayden, I when we were with the Geico team, I pushed hard for them to sign that kid because, he did not have very good equipment. And, I don't know if he ever got a top 5 in a main event, but I know that he was like right on the cusp. I know that he got either 6th or 7th at an East-West shootout, and he was like battling with all factory dudes. And I was just like, come on, like this guy's got to catch a break. And it just never happened for him. I was super bummed, but he seems to be doing pretty well down in Australia now, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah, those guys are those guys, man, I don't know. When Luke came over here and he had the Penrite deal, like he was top 5 a couple different times, or at least on the edge, I feel like. But I think honestly that if he got a shot over here, I think he'd be top 10 all day long outdoors on a 450. I don't know how Supercross would be because obviously like we know the difference between the way they build the Supercross tracks over there compared to here. But outdoors, last year he put the beat down on everybody. I remember looking at some of the results, and I think there was motos where he was winning by like 50 seconds. So
wow.
Yeah, I feel like if he got a shot up here, I feel like he's top 10. I haven't seen Hayden Melross, any of his stuff in a while, but yeah.
Well, I got to feel like those Aussie guys are going to have a real good shot at that XX Global deal coming up. So.
Oh, dude, and they're all about it. And also Jackson
I would
Richardson.
say so.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool to see those guys get a shot on some, what I think is going to be some good equipment.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Cole, you had
it's going to be interesting who ends up going to that series.
Yep.
Yeah. We're
so far
we're
from
waiting.
what I've heard, there's really no one over here that's going to it. Not that I've heard, at least.
I've heard Michael Lessie wants to do it.
He wants to come back and do 250 Supercross next year.
Well,
he's like, well, there's no,
Eric's like, well.
yeah, he was on Whiskey Trial the other day. He's like, no whoop, short track. I think I can be good. And he dropped that Hep and Genova. We're doing something with it. So there's at least 2 teams. But
I don't know.
But yeah, more questions. I had a few ready for you, Eric.
yeah.
Still with the team stuff, I remember how badass the bikes looked. Obviously, with you guys' affiliation into Geico Honda, how similar were those bikes to the factory bikes? Were there any parts that got trickled down, or did you guys try to stay, within the amateur parameters kind of deal?
On the SK bikes you're talking
Or
about?
just any of your bikes in the amateur days, were you able to snag some parts from the factory level and try them out and that kind of stuff?
Well, the SK days, I believe we were on BPM engines.
Mm-hmm.
BPM, and then I think we might have done a couple TLR motors. I know that I had a TLR 450 at one point, and that thing was a freaking
Rocket ship. Title chances.
Yeah, I pulled
insane.
the whole shot at Loretta's, like 2 out of 3 motos in College Boy, and I didn't even have to shift to third gear. The thing was so fast.
Title chances.
But that's also
animal.
why I couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as like the amateur stuff goes, basically once the SK team kind of unfolded and we just helped out RJ, that was, it wasn't necessarily a team anymore. We just helped out RJ because I saw the bikes that he was riding once I moved from MTF down to Timmy's, and I was like, I think it was when he won Minios that year on that like 05 Honda 450 in the B class. And I was just like, wow, if this kid had some like decent equipment, I think he could be good. And so I told my dad, I was like, we got to help this kid out. And he was like, all right, if you think he's that good, like, we'll do it. And then Villapoto shows up we were training at Tim Ferry's at the time, and him and Jake Weimer came out, and RJ held Villapoto off for 25 minutes in a 30+2. I mean, like, and Villapoto was barely catching him the whole moto. And I was just like, I forget what happened. My bike must have blown up or something, because I was watching, not riding. And I was just like completely blown away. And it was both 30-minute motos that he was like almost the same speed as Villapoto. And he was like faster than Weimer. I was just blown away. And that's when I told my dad, I was like, Dad, this guy's legit. Like, we need to push to get him onto the amateur program for Geico. So that's when Geico started to help us out and give each of us some decent amateur motors. They weren't the same things that their factory amateur guys were on, but they were better than what we were on. And that's pretty much what that was. And then when I was on Supercross, whenever I was on Hondas, I had basically a step below what the Geico guys were running. Don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but
yeah, like suspension
team's
clamps
not
and
around
stuff.
anymore, so I don't think
I think you're good, Eric.
big of a deal.
What's a
Pretty
step?
much everyone knew anyways. So that's part of the reason why I switched to KTM after Supercross in 2015 when I turned pro. After Supercross, I did my first 2 nationals. I broke my finger at my second national, and I switched to KTM right after that because I was kind of in my own head, but there was always kind of people that I was hearing that were talking behind my backs and like, oh, if I had that bike, I'd be way better than him, like blah, 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 blah. So I was just like, I want to prove to these people that I can do it on a full privateer bike too. So that's when I went to KTM, full privateer, did just as well. It didn't help or hurt really. I was on a completely stock 250F qualifying for nationals, so It went pretty well.
What's
then,
with the Geico or with the Hondas? What does a step down mean? Like, are we talking like you don't have the tranny that the Geico bikes have? Like what are
basically anything that came from like factory Honda?
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to get.
Okay.
Clamps, probably.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get much of it.
Okay.
And what they did get had to go to their factory guys, obviously.
Okay.
But I mean, the bike I still had was still fast as could be. Like, the thing was an absolute rocket ship. Still to this day, it's probably better than half the privateer 250s out there.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, that thing was fast. Those Hondas, they didn't handle very well. The front end was just very knifey on those things, I would say. But still, it was a great bike and very fun to ride.
Yeah. No, that's got to be cool, because I always just think about, man, just like the little subtle differences that the guys at that level get and how much of a difference that makes in lap time wise.
Like, I remember the one thing was the throttle bodies. I didn't get the factory throttle bodies. I knew that.
Yeah.
Or I know that.
Interesting.
Did you ever get to swing a leg over a full factory one out at the nest or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah. How was that?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
I mean, yeah, it was just like, I was like, I'd almost prefer my bike because it's too fast.
Yeah.
Like, it would take so long to learn how to ride that thing, because you literally just like, you barely gave it gas and you were 3 into the rhythm sections. Like, it was, you had to be careful not to like wheelie out of the corner.
Well, how about chassis wise? Did it feel like you were like on a cloud, like you could hit anything as fast as you wanted and it would absorb it? And like, how about that side of things?
I mean, chassis wise, we were pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Because I had a kit on my bikes, they had a kit on their bikes. I just was a year behind on the a kit, like, which was actually a good thing in my first year, because in 2015, my first year pro, they switched to air, and that's when air was supposed to be the new better thing. And so I had last year's spring stuff, and so my bike probably handled better than some of theirs, because everyone was just struggling with those air forks.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, that's interesting stuff that I like to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
about, because like a goal in life would be like, if I make a shit ton of money or something, I would pay a guy to just let me do 5 laps on a factory bike just to see.
You make
know
a
what
shit
I mean?
ton of money, you can just buy a factory Honda. $500,000. $500,000 will buy you Ken Roxon's bike.
Who says?
Honda.
Hey,
What?
man, and
Honda will sell you a direct factory race bike for
Who's your source?
$500,000. I don't know. I heard it on some podcast.
I mean, it's
Really?
been like
Yeah.
$160K for a pro
That's
circuit bike.
interesting. I've never heard that.
I've never heard that either.
I can't remember what show it was because I listen to way too many podcasts while I'm working by myself. But yeah, no, $500,000 will buy you exactly what Ken Roxon rides. So
I
there you
know
go.
that-
So Eric, call your dad, and there we are.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry,
No.
had to throw it out there. Anyway, so you said you're going to ride some nationals this summer.
Yep. I signed up for 3 right now.
Which ones are you
I
riding?
signed up for Redbud, Southwick, and Unadilla.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Keep the travel a little light too.
Too bad he said Southwick. You could ask him if he had a 2-stroke. You want to come up and make some money.
Oh yeah, because we're doing a local
it should be
2-stroke
interesting.
race.
I haven't raced in 3 years since 2019, and I tried the whole Loretta's thing last year because I turned 25, so I did 25 plus, and that was miserable. Thought it would be cool to go back, and it was just absolute, it was torture all over again.
Look, Heath Harrison won that class, and he said the same thing.
Yeah. It was just like, I was just like, man, why did I want to do this? Like,
You mean
I
because
just
Loretta
trained
sucks?
my ass off for 2 months, and I did terrible
Hey, man, you
because
just
I just wasn't prepared. I thought that the track, it used to be a lot softer than it was. They used to bring in like sand around the whole track, And last year there was just the sand sweeper, and that was it. It was hard as a rock.
Hey, look, man, next time you want to throw away like $100,000 for Loretta's, you can just call me. I will be glad to take half of that money for you and piss it away on something.
He is right, though. I remember back in the day for
I
practice,
know.
it was like riding at a beach.
Yeah.
It was so
I remember. Yeah,
I
that
had
year
to-
we were down there.
The worst
Fucking
part
dumb.
is I funded it all myself, and I was just like, really like, wow, why did I do this? I just spent $5,000 between area qualifiers, regional qualifiers, and then getting there, hotel, like all this stuff and travel, and I'm just like, what was the point of that? You don't even get paid. Like,
Yeah,
I know
Right.
you don't
It
make
like
much-
opened my eyes
You don't
too.
make
Like,
much at a national, but at least you get some of it put back in your pocket.
Yeah.
it opened my eyes too. Like back in the day, the parents going down to the dealership and buying a fresh bike just to go to Loretta's with.
We
Like,
did that all the
fuck.
time, man. We would get like 4 bikes after regionals and fucking just
Yeah.
scrap everything. It is funny though, and I always say
Yeah.
this. I always say this to people like that have never been to Loretta's. It's like your first time there, and you can talk about your first time there racing. Like it's always cool, but then after you've done it the first time and you go back the second time, you're like, well, this is just a fucking pissing money away, and I don't know why I'm here.
Yep. Yeah. I just did it because I thought it would be fun and it would be good for Adept to have someone there racing, and I was just like, yeah, this did not work out as planned. The
Much
motorhome
easier to
broke
send
down.
$5,000 to a kid
Literally,
and let him run it.
as I was leaving, I was 45 minutes into the drive. Motorhome breaks down.
Oh.
Had to friggin' turn around and drop the motorhome back off at the nest, or now it's the Moto Sandbox, and get my van, load up the van, and me, my girlfriend, and our dog drove to Loretta's in the van. And had to sleep in the van the first night because we didn't get a hotel
Been there, done that.
because we were supposed to have the motorhome. And yeah, it was a wreck.
It started that way and it just
it
snowballed.
just
huh?
didn't go good from
Yeah.
there. Oh, man.
Yep. I was just like, yeah, this was rough.
At least it's not as hot as it used to be, though.
That it made me really question my my love for dirt bikes.
You're like, why am I doing this right
I don't
now?
think I touched my dirt bike for a month and a half, maybe 2 months after Loretta's.
You sound
because,
like me. My love for dirt bikes goes as far as the air conditioned shop to the bike to the track in the yard, back to the shop and the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I got super into road cycling, and so I was doing that 5-6 days a week because I did a big race in Georgia
Oh, okay.
at the end of September. So yeah, right after Loretta's, I just went full cycle and just training every day pretty much for that race, and then did the state championship here. And it went pretty well, and I was like, yeah, I think I found something new. Like, this will be fun. And then I did a race again this year, got my first podium, the first road race of the season in Florida.
Nice.
And then got the new Husky, the new factory edition, rode that thing, and I was like, oh my God, I love riding my dirt bike again.
Yeah.
I was like,
It always
I
comes
was like,
back.
apparently I just hated my setup on my last bike, like, because I couldn't turn the thing. I just felt like I was all over the place, and I just felt like the bike was always riding me, and I was never riding the bike. So I would just ride like once a week, once every other week, and then finally, a month ago when these factory editions came out, or a month and a half ago, I was like, holy crap, it's fun to ride again. So now I've been backing off the cycling and more into the riding thing. And then I'm in the process of launching a new company.
Nice.
So I was like, you know what? It would be pretty cool to have me doing a national or two. First, it just started with just Southwick because we're part owners in the national. So I was like, I can have a good parking spot. We can set up. We can talk to people about it. My partners will come over, and it'd just be a cool, fun thing to do.
Nice.
And then my girlfriend and our buddy who was staying with us, they were like, no, you can't just do one. You gotta do at least two. And then I was like, yeah, all right. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to do Southwick and Unadilla, I got to do Redbud because I love Redbud.
Yep.
And my last Redbud was my worst Redbud because it was the only Redbud I didn't qualify for. And I made the mistake of, I was in A practice, which I had been in A practice all year in 2019. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try something different this practice. And I'm going to go out first with everyone that, like the top 15 guys that take off and just pin it from the start. And I was like, maybe I can just like fall into their pace. Well, that was a big mistake because you're just eating roost the whole entire practice. And I just never got a clean lap. There was always people everywhere. And so I was like 44th or 42nd overall after first practice. And then second practice comes around, and 450s were first that day. So 450B group goes before us. Everyone's lap times were like 4 seconds slower than their first practice times. And I was just like, oh no, this is not good. And so I went out dead last like I used to always do. And I just would latch on to like Roxon or Tomac because those guys always hang back. And I think I was like 26th fastest or 24th fastest, something like that. I would have been overall had it gone by second practice times. And I was only like, I can't remember if I was 0.2 faster or 0.2 slower in the second practice, but everyone else was like 2 to 3 seconds slower in the second practice. And I literally ran the same lap time. I was within the same second, and I was just like, damn it, like I'm such an idiot. So then I had to go to the LCQ, and I was like, whatever, I'll just qualify out of the LCQ. And dropped the gate, started like 9th or so, got into 4th by the end of the first lap, and they red flag it. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Because I knew that meant it was a full restart, not a staggered start. So we go back to the gate, and I'm like, all right, just get a better start. And going into the first turn, I was like, I wasn't going to get the whole shot, but like I was still up there in the front of the pack. And this dude on the inside, I don't know if he whiskeyed or what he was thinking, but he literally just held it wide open into me and just smoked me. And we went down, and there was a pile up, and I was dead last, probably 15 seconds behind the pack. And in a 4-lap race, I got up to 8th
I think I
or
remember
9th.
this race.
I think I set the fastest lap of the LCQ coming through the pack. I passed like 18 guys in 1 lap. It was stupid. I was like, this is like the best I've rode in my life today, other than the first practice. Like, I deserve to be out there. I was so mad. And so I was like, all right, well, I didn't make it, but I can still line up as an alternate. And the dude who finished right in front of me was the last alternate to get to line up for both motos.
One of those
so
days.
it was just like a slap in the face both times. I was just like, are you kidding me? Because like, I hate being that guy to like go line up for like as an alternate. But at the same time, I was riding so good and I felt so good on the bike that I was like, I got it. Like, I got to go for it at least and just hope that I get on the gate. And it didn't happen for me. So I was pretty upset.
That's rough. What year was that?
Yeah. Needless to say,
19.
that was 2019. Needless to say, I worked my ass off the next month and made sure that I didn't miss another national. And I qualified for every one that I went to after that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember that year. I remember that pile up. It was
Wasn't that
pretty
when you
gnarly.
rode that 125 Dream Race, Cole?
Did they do the 125?
I think that was the year you rode that.
I think it was, yeah, it had to have been
Yeah,
2019.
that slow ass CR.
Yeah.
Well, I could have told you that.
Come
bike
to
was
find
really
out,
slow.
the piston was sticking.
Nice.
Oops.
Yeah.
So I got one question for him. So you're doing these 3 rounds and stuff. Obviously you're going there to have a good time, but do you have any expectation? Are you going to train for it, or like I said, is it just going to be?
Oh
hey,
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely training for it. I wouldn't, nationals are no joke. Like, I have so much respect for those dudes. Like,
Yep.
obviously the top factory dudes are in incredible shape, but like even us privateers, like people, I don't know if people know that like we work just as hard, and if not some of them maybe even harder some of them less, obviously, but there's a very, very big majority of us that work our ass off to be there. And so it's not something that I take lightly. Like, if I'm out there, like, I want to, you know, at least be able to show everyone that, like, I can make it.
Yeah.
The whole moto too. Like, I don't want to be one of those guys that, like, just has that incredible fast lap talent, which I don't have. I don't have that ability to just turn my brain off. That's why I've always been, like, on the cusp of making it in at nationals. And because I've seen some guys qualify like 11th, and then I got the last spot, and I pass them halfway through the moto, and they're just rolling around the track, and I'm just like, what is the point of that? Like, give it to someone who wants to be out here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that just always makes me mad. So I would never just go there and just take a spot on the gate.
Yep.
So I'm started a diet a couple weeks ago, or actually not a couple weeks ago, last week. And I've been trying to ride 4 days a week. I only got 2.5 days last week because my shock blew out. But yeah, I was on the bicycle, basically just gonna drill myself into the ground until about 3 weeks before the first race, and then I'll start lightening my training up and just start to let the body recover, and hopefully I'll be able to make a 30-minute moto. It's been a long time since I've done one, especially at that pace on those tracks. But my biggest thing is just going to be arm pump, because I never really used to get it that bad when I was racing at the pro level all the time. But now that was my thing at Loretta's last year, is just like, I trained for 2 months, but it still wasn't enough for my body to be able to get rid of that, like, riding feeling all the time and on all the different surfaces. So when I went to the hard pack track at Loretta's, and I'd been training on mostly sand and softer dirt, my arms were just like, this is not what we're used to riding. Like, so that's going to be my biggest thing right now, is just finding the gnarliest stuff and hardest stuff to ride on, and just get rid of that arm pump as soon as I freaking can.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. Your first national back in a while is the roughest track of the year, so you'll be fine.
Yeah. What? Southwick or Redbud?
Redbud.
I don't know that you can call Redbud the roughest national.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
All right.
Redbud's rough.
What would you go
Redbud's
with?
rough, but Southwick is absolutely obliterated every single year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because there's, like, at least at Redbud, you have jumps to take a break on. Southwick, you have, like, you're in the air for maybe a half a second.
Yep.
Like, there's no hang time there. You're just constantly pounding sand rollers, and the braking bumps are ridiculous. Like, they're literally like whoops in some areas.
Well, hey, at least you know a guy to get a little training in there, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if they're doing it anymore, because we used to be able to ride there like every Wednesday, and so we would get a lot of time on the track. And of course, it would never be rough like the national, but, like, at least it was time on the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I can't remember. I thought that they might have stopped doing that. I don't know. But either way, I'm not going to have the luxury of doing that this year. I'm going to go up to New England probably 2 weeks before Southwick, or 3 weeks before Southwick. So I'll try and get up there a couple times. And, sorry, you're such a punk. My girlfriend just walked over to me and just handed me a quarter for absolutely no reason.
It's a good chick right there.
Just
Here's a quarter. Go get an Aldi's cart.
oh my god.
Homeless man ain't got no rent.
All right. So one more question for you, because I told you we'd only keep you about a half an hour. What's this new company that you're launching here? What do we got going on?
Yeah, so the company is going to be called Zaffel. We are going to be buying brand new dirt bikes, raffling them off, and then donating a portion of the proceeds to charity.
Sweet.
So it's just going to be an online fundraising platform essentially, and just we want to do something good for the motocross community and help give back, and hopefully in turn it helps grow the sport and get more eyeballs to people on dirt bikes. And hopefully I hope whoever wins it is someone that can't afford a brand new dirt bike or something like. Just I hope it goes to someone who deserves it at least. But I mean that's all part of it. It's a raffle. It has to go to a second party company that does raffle picking. It's like the law here in the US.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now we're just wrapping stuff up on the legal side of things to get going. But we partnered with Christian Craig on the first one. We got a brand new YZ 450. It's all decked out with Adept graphics, and we've got some good people that have donated a couple parts for the bike. Pro Taper's giving us some stuff. I think FMF is sending us a pipe. I'm not 100% sure if they have any, but I know that they were trying to. And then our first charity that we're working with is Veteran MX, and they're out of California.
Okay.
So, yeah, my partner will be out at Pala Raceway for the first national. So if you guys are out there, stop by and say hello. He'll be with the Veteran MX tent. There will be a table with Zaffle on it, and he'll be happy to talk to you guys about it and talk to any fans that are there about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll be at Redbud for sure.
Yeah, Redbud will be there. We will not be out at
I'll
Paula.
be there.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be at Redbud.
Well, great. Don't
That'll
worry.
be a great one for you too. Lots of exposure. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's obviously the most attended event I feel on the circuit,
Yeah.
bar none. So
Redbud?
get a lot of eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Redbud definitely is the most attended.
Okay.
Excuse me, most attended, I would
Sick.
say.
How much time we have with Eric?
Well, I told him like 20, 30 minutes, so we're
Okay.
We're
I had one
I mean,
more
if you
question,
guys
but
have
we can
more,
save it.
I'm good if you guys have more.
Yeah, this will
whatever.
be the last one. So I've always thought it would be cool as hell to design gear, but I could never sit down and figure out Photoshop or want to do that kind of stuff or Illustrator or whatever. So the Alias deal, you were designing all the gear, correct? That was your baby, that company?
Well, it wasn't necessarily my baby. My dad was a partner in it.
Yep.
And I think 2014 or 2015 was the first time I ever had a colorway. I didn't do the design.
Yep.
But I because I was just learning at that point how to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a complete novice in design.
Did you
But I
teach
figured
yourself
out
how to do
change
everything?
colors. So yeah, I was all self-taught. I just watched YouTube videos and just played around with it until I figured it out. And then I've worked with a couple designers here and there for a couple days. But other than that, it's pretty much just been all self-taught. But in 2017 was my first full lineup, and 2016 was my first design that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And now looking back, I'm just like, oh man, I was such a clown at that point, design wise. There was just stuff that I should have lined up better, done stuff differently. But I mean, that's how it goes.
Yep.
I mean, people were still stoked on it. I was stoked on it at the time.
I still have some of the gear.
Yeah.
I still wear it.
And then
The buttery
The
situation
20
too, that helped a ton.
the 2018 line, that was all me. 2017, I think I only had one of the designs because there was some miscommunication when we were putting someone else in charge, and they didn't know that I was designing the stuff. They didn't know who was.
Oops.
But we still had some cool stuff. But yeah, 2018, we had Trifecta, Burst, and I can't even remember the name of the other one, but that was all my stuff. and we had a cool group of people, and it was definitely a bummer that it didn't work out. But
that leopard print stuff.
I'm hoping to bring it back someday. I'm working on it slowly but surely.
Yeah, we need to bring it back.
Find the right. I'm trying to find the right way to do it. I don't want to do it and do it half-assed. Like I want to do it right. So I
always
want to get it made here in the U.S. That's my big goal.
Yeah,
that'll be killer. I always noticed that, at least maybe it was a Buttery thing or maybe it was a design thing, but it always went really well with the limited edition Tech 10s and some of the boots. Was that planned or just kind of worked out?
Some of it was kind of planned. Some of it that's just how it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Alpine Stars seem to always have those crazy colorways with limited editions, and we would just happen to have a colorway that matched up. And then I remember one year, once I was like, I had a couple friends at Alpine Stars, they would show me the boot early so that we could make a set of gear to go with it.
Yeah.
And so all the Geico guys would look really sick.
Yeah, that's super sick. Because I noticed kind of toward the end there, it was starting to match up a little bit. And I'm like, I wonder. So
Yeah. I think it might have only been like one or two boots that we got to do that with, because it was right towards the tail end.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still cool.
Yeah, that's cool as hell. Especially, with the graphic company and stuff, obviously you have a creative side in your head. So,
I love designing.
Yeah, especially gear, man.
Ever since I was a little kid, I used to draw gear designs on a piece of paper when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old, and I would have my dad send it or hand it to people at Fox at the races. Just hoping
hey, let me get a royalty deal out of this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, one day they were like, hey, can we use this? Never happened, but it was worth a shot.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, hey, it worked out a little bit down the long run. You got to get some stuff out there, and that's got to be a cool feeling as well, seeing your shit on the podium and stuff like that. So
yeah, no, it was definitely awesome. Like the first time, my first design was like that pink tiger stuff that they wore in Vegas.
Yes.
There was like a pink tiger and an orange tiger. That was my first, it was like half design was me and half design was whoever even made it at the time. I don't remember who did it. Because I was racing at the time, so I wasn't out at the office or anything. I just had the files on my computer and I would just play with it, and that's what I came up with. And I'm pretty sure we got some guys on the podium at that race, so it was definitely a cool feeling. And probably the best feeling though was that pink tiger stuff. There was a picture of Justin Bieber wearing that gear.
No
in
shit.
Sweden.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that spike the sales? Did you see anything from that exposure come along, I guess, on the analytics side?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. It was like super hard to track. I don't think it really did that much for us, just because I don't even know if he had Instagram at that point. I think that might have been when he went dark. On social media for a while.
Plus, to be real, a lot of moto people are there, the Bieber.
Yeah. So we found out how it happened though. So he was in Sweden and he walked into one of our distributors over there and to get some gear and go do some riding, and that was the gear that he picked out of all the gear that they had there. So I was like, that's
pretty damn cool.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Well, it shows how hard it is to do stuff like that and design shit that'll spark people's attention, especially in the motocross world where people's attention spans aren't long. Because I remember when Blake Dungey tried that stuff for a while, and he was gaining some traction, and then he realized that he was having creative issues, and I think he ended up starting to design clothing or whatever, but he got into the gear stuff for a while there, and it never went past a year.
Yeah, Blake actually had reached out to me at one point. He wanted to work for Alias, but obviously, that was my job, so it was kind of hard.
They're like, no, man, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, we're not that big yet.
Yep.
But I sent him over one of our design files, and he like made this mock-up, and it was super sick.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like we can't pay 2 designers. Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't even getting paid, so.
I was just gonna say maybe you got a royalty check or something, but
Yeah, it was like we just had to. I just got to do it, and I was just stoked to be doing it. I mean, my payment was my dad was sending me to the races, so I
think it worked out.
I didn't need anything on top of that. Yeah, I was more than thankful just to be able to be out there.
Good trade.
Living my
Good
dream.
trade.
Yeah, great trade.
Yeah.
and it's just like the self accomplishment of like seeing your designs out there and having people be stoked on
Yep.
them. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's cool, especially when the Instagram stuff came around, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
no,
you
I
scrolled
mean,
through
dude,
the
I
comments on
still
all the
have
buttery
people-
stuff.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Yeah, that was a bummer how that deal ended.
Oh, would we like to talk about that? Because we're good on.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm gonna say that's
why
a no.
was there a little bit of like drama on the back end with him, or what's up with that?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have the balls to call me or tell me.
Oh.
Like so when Alias shut down in 2018, it was supposed to be temporary. And I was going to bring it back like on the basis that Buttery was still going to be with us because we lost the Geico team to Shift. And so I really had no one to promote the stuff, which I don't even know that I would have needed it, but I just kind of wanted that safety. You know, I had never I was actually going to be running the business at that point, and I was super young. I think I was only like 23 at the time. 22 maybe. And so it was just a lot for me to handle and not have, that, hey, this is for sure who's going to be promoting it, and he's got a solid enough following to make it survive.
Mm-hmm.
And so he called me. He told me, hey, I've got this offer from O'Neill. They're going to pay me I think it was like $10K. I was like, he's like, but if you guys are for sure coming back, I'm Alias for life. You guys were my first sponsor that gave me free stuff. I won't go anywhere. And I was like, no, we're coming back 100%. I'm like, I mean, if you have to take it, then that sucks. But I'm like, he's like, no. He's like, if you guys are coming back, I'm Alias for life. And I was like, okay. I was like, I promise you. I was like, dude, I'll get you samples sent out ASAP if you're running low on gear. Because I made sure that he had probably 30 sets that year. He had a lot. And that's when we were working on a Buttery LE with him.
Yeah, I remember
his
with the
designer.
pocket and shit.
Yep. It was pretty sick. That kid did some good work, Everett. But yeah, and then literally I don't know if it was a week later or 2 weeks later. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, we're good. And I was on the phone with my guy that we were going to use for manufacturing to make sure that we could get him some stuff. And then all of a sudden I see him wearing this all black O'Neill kit on Instagram. And I'm like, but he just posted a story. He didn't tag them or anything. I'm like, all right, whatever. He just needed some gear, not a big deal. But then the next day, so I don't even think I said anything to him. I was just like, all right, whatever. It's all blacked out. You could barely even see the logos. And then the next day, he's wearing this bright neon kit, and he tags him. He's so stoked to be part of the O'Neill family. And I was I replied to his story. I was like, dude, what's going on? What's with O'Neill? And he reads it and doesn't respond. So then I'm like, okay. So then I text him, and I was like, hey man, what's up with O'Neill? Can you call me? No response. So then the next day I tried giving him a call to see if he would pick up. Won't pick up the phone. So then I'm just like, all right, cool. So I just went on his Instagram, saw people were commenting. One person said, what happened with Alias? And I said, good question.
Yes.
Savagery.
And I think that was it. and I was just like, whatever. And then I was pissed. And then I'm buddies with Dean Wilson. Dino happened to sign with O'Neill that year. He posts on his Instagram. It was the year that he was like privateer Husky. And so I did all of his merch that year and designed like his team look, except for his graphics. Because he had already made a deal before my company launched, or that might have even been the year before. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
I commented on Dean's post saying lit kit with a fire emoji, and Buttery replies to my comment and says, funny how you say this on his post, but you talk shit about O'Neill on mine. And I was like, I lost it. I was like, dude, first of all, I have nothing against O'Neill. Like, I have not said anything bad about O'Neill. And just like, I just listed out exactly what happened, what I just told you guys, because he couldn't even pick up the phone. And when he commented that, I picked up my phone immediately and called him, because I was like, we need to friggin' hash this out. Like, just have the decency to call me and just say you're
Just
sorry.
talk it out. Be a
Just
man.
Be like, you know what? Yeah, like, that's all I wanted. All I wanted was for him to say, you know what, Eric, like, I'm really sorry. I know that I told you I was Alias for life, but I really needed the money, and they were going to take the contract away or whatever. Like, or, you know, I just really needed the money, so I had to take the deal. And that's all he had to tell me. I would have been like, damn, that really sucks, but, like, I get it. You have to eat. You have to, like, you have to survive. You have to live. I fully understand that and respect that. It's just that he didn't have the decency to call me and let me know that that was going to happen. I had to find out by him posting it on Instagram. And it was just like, that really sucks, because, you know, I thought that we were friends, because he would come hang out with me when I lived in California. We'd go riding together. And it just, to go from that to just can't even pick up the phone and tell me, like, or like, even, he couldn't even reply to me when I was reaching out to him.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, that's lame.
Yeah,
That's
but he
just
could
so
respond
lame.
on Dean's post.
Yeah, but then he responds and wants to talk shit to me on Dean's and try to make me look bad. I'm like, dude, literally all you had to do was pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Even today, if he picked up the phone and said, hey, dude, I'm sorry, I should have told you, like, are we cool? I'd be like, yes, like, I don't care. I'm not going to hold on to that forever. But, like, you got to have respect in this industry. And just no one does. Not no one, but not a lot of people have that respect and can do that.
Yeah.
No, Buttery's too big time now for that. He wouldn't do that.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor's a real cool dude.
He's a nice guy, dude. Haven't you listened to him on Gypsy?
whatever.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So
Whatever.
we're gonna start some beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
A
man.
lot of
Yeah,
people love
that
him.
is pretty shitty.
I never bought into the
It's
Buttery
Yeah,
thing.
I always enjoyed hanging out with him. He's funny. He's a funny dude. But yeah, that wasn't cool. And, you know, it's whatever at this point. But
Yeah.
I'd still like an apology.
Yeah.
That's all. Hey,
But
don't worry.
still-
We're gonna blast this out. We're gonna get an apology.
Gonna
Or we're
blast
gonna
his
start a
Instagram
fight.
and just
It's gonna be
say,
awesome.
Hey, maybe we can blast this out and restart the Alias brand around Buttery. Who knows?
All I'm saying is
He's got to say
I should
sorry
probably,
first.
should probably pick a better person.
all I'm saying is that if you restart Alias gear
Oh, boy, here we
with
go.
Made in the USA, I'm fully in. I'll buy every single set.
I mean, you still get shit for rocking
Yeah,
the old
thank
Geico
you.
jacket.
Dude, I know. Funny
Jeff,
funny
You know
story.
they're out of business.
Funny story here before we let you off the phone, Eric. So I'm wearing the Geico Honda jacket from
red
like their
puffy
last
one.
year. Yeah, one of their puffy ones at like Detroit Supercross, and we
There's
run
Detroit.
into your boy Jeff Walker. And so we're saying,
no
what's
way.
up? And he walks up and he goes, you know that team doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, bro, it's fucking vintage. What do you mean?
And it's like
shit's
Mike
awesome.
Grondahl appreciates that.
Yeah, exactly.
But as he says this, he's wearing a TLD Honda sweatshirt.
I
Yeah.
am. I have a bunch of vintage Honda gear, okay? Leave me alone, guys.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
Jeff's an
fi-
awesome dude. I love Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff's cool. Grew up with him.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on, but we got to let you go because we got another guest coming up, bro. But
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
yeah, thank you for coming on. Thanks for supporting the show. And
Thank you.
I'll be in contact here because I need some graphics for my 250F and my pit bike and some other shit. So
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for
good.
coming
Let
on,
us
Eric.
know.
Thanks for the transparency on
Stuff
some
we
of the
don't
stuff
get in
we
the moto
touched
industry
on,
that
and,
often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully we can get you on again here soon.
yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Yep,
right, take it easy, man.
Eric.
Later, bud. All right. Eric Grondahl from Adept Creative Co.
Yeah, some
That was
interesting
some
little
interesting
tidbits in there.
So, all right. Well, you guys want to take one quick break here, and then we got Coach coming up.
Yeah, we'll take one real quick.
Kev was
When's
going
Coach
through
coming
it.
on?
Kev was,
When's Coach coming on?
next.
Like 8.
Like
so
in
here we
Whenever
two
go.
you
minutes.
want to call him.
Yeah, like in 2 minutes here.
Yeah. real
all
soon.
right.
So we'll take a quick couple-minute
What were
break
you saying about
here. He was going through a dead zone. He texted me like halfway through that, so I was like, sorry, I'm in a huge dead zone. So we'll talk to Coach, and then we will...
Got some stuff to
Kev's
talk about.
driving, wants to talk to somebody.
Yeah, Kev wants, maybe we'll call him back.
We got some stuff to talk
Yeah,
about
we got
a
some
little
other
bit
stuff
before
to
we
talk
end the
about.
show anyways, too, after Coach
So-
is done.
Oh, what do you got?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll get there. We'll get there when it's time.
Well, it's kind of about a certain person, and there's also a little thing I want to throw in there. I
We'll
wanna
get there
talk
when
about
it's
it.
time.
Whoa, what?
It's not
All right,
confirmed.
hey,
Calm
stop.
down.
We'll
These
be right
dudes
back.
don't debrief me.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. All right. And next guest up on show 200 here is brought to you by Energy Fuel, the best fucking drink out there. Keep yourself fueled, energized, and strong from start to finish. Pick yours up today at CoachRobbStore.com. That's Coach Robb with 2 B's, store.com. And it is the one, the only, the returning champion, Coach Robb. Hey, buddy, how are you tonight?
Champion of
I
life.
am doing great, man. It's good to hear your voices and keep up. I just can't tell you how proud I am. Keep up what you're doing with the show. I got more and more people asking me about the show. You guys are killing it. I'm not saying that because it's the three amigos and we finally got the band back together, but keep up the good work. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
This guy just,
Well, Justin's as red as the shirt he's wearing over there. You
this guy just
made
gets
him
us
blush.
going. This guy just gets us going.
Jeez.
Yeah, you look like that SpongeBob meme where he's like blushing. You know what I'm saying?
So, Coach, what's up with you, man? What's been new in the Coach Robb universe here? Because you've kind of been on a hiatus here. You've done Cooksey and the Coach, I think, once in the last couple months. We haven't had you on the show because you've just been
Busy as
super
shit.
busy doing stuff. So, what's new in the Coach Robb universe here?
Oh man, thanks for asking. No, it's good. We've got a new project that we're launching with David Pingree. We'll be out in California actually a week from Wednesday. You guys will see a bunch of that popping on the media side of things. And then for those of you that follow me on social media, and we talked a lot about the aftermath of getting the COVID shot. We are actually on our way to the UK. We're going to be there for 10 weeks. And we're very fortunate. We're going to be landing in we're actually going to be landing in London, starting with a camp at Goose's course there. So we're very fortunate for that. And then we're just going to make our way up the East Coast and in Scotland for some of the people who are MXGP followers. You guys may remember Kevin Murray. He rode for a couple MXGP teams, got into the off-road world, and he's an 8-time gold medalist at the ISDE. So he started a company called Ride Scotland. So we'll fly into London, do Goose's course. We'll make our way. We have 8 stops along the way. We're going to be doing some presentations at Grass Track. We're going to be doing some moto. We'll be doing some speedway, as they call it over there. And then when we get up to the northern part, we'll be in Scotland. They're doing what's called a 2-wheeled festival, where they're expecting around 5,000 motorcycles, and they're actually doing the race around a castle.
That's awesome.
That's
So,
awesome as hell.
Yeah, so we're going to be presenting on on Friday and Saturday night. And then when we get there, we jump over to Ireland. And for those of you that follow the MXGPs, like Justin does, we're actually going to be at Desert Martin at that MXGP track.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
we get a chance to go there, and then we go south to another track in Ireland, and then we actually fly back to London. We have another presentation, and then we go to Amsterdam for the final 2 weeks. So it's a lot of windshield time, but I'll tell you that everybody in the UK has been extremely embracing of the ideas. I mean, our camps are not your traditional, like I always say to you guys, I'm not going to sit here and disagree or agree with whether or not you should use 1 or 2 fingers on the front brake. I want you guys to understand, how do I take the work I do off the bike, whether it be nutrition or strength or flexibility or cardio, how do I translate that over to the motorcycle? So that's what we're doing. We've been invited Roy, who runs the organizing body over there. The acronym is called NORA. And we are actually working with them. We're building an elite development program. Get this, guys, what a novel idea. We are building a junior development program through the organizing body in the UK using our model that we use here with our Moto E amateur development program. The entire organizing body wants to take it. They're taking their national championship, and every one of their winners is going to be on our elite team.
Sweet.
That's a wild idea, Coach.
Body.
Just a wild idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then to be embraced by the governing body of it. And so we're very excited. I don't say that arrogantly. I've had some discussions when we were in Australia a couple of years ago. That's still in the works. But it's nice because the governing body wants the sport to grow. Like they said, they're not trying. What I do complements and supplements all riding coaches. And so that's what I've been really trying to focus on. So it's been good. I mean, since we last got a chance to talk, we've been super busy, but like we always say when we get the band together, you know, we've been doing this for 37 years. So it's the 37-year overnight success. So
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But it's good to be back it's good to have the band back. I know I've said it 3 times already, but it's good to hear your voices, and I love to hear the laughs. And how the hell are you guys doing? Before we get too deep into this, how are you 3 amigos doing?
Well, me and Justin are very aware that our ages now start with a 3.
Yes.
Where I now have a bum shoulder and a trick knee. So that's fun. And which, by the way, when you come up here for that camp, best believe I have about a half an hour of picking your brain on Friday about what the hell's going on with my trick knee here, because it's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's put it this way. It's so awesome. And I've blown out a knee before. I've torn ACL and meniscus and had it rebuilt. Same knee, but it's literally a running one day, twinge in it, running on a treadmill. Super weird. Finished my 3-mile run. Next day, can't walk up the fucking stairs with it. For like 3 days, can barely walk. And then on day 4, just sitting on the toilet doing my thing in the morning, stand up, and just all of a sudden everything's back to normal. And then it's cool for about a week, and then it kind of gets sore again, so I take about a month off of doing anything intense. And then it's cool. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's not good again. So, yeah, so it's a real interesting thing.
I mean, it takes me 10 minutes to get out of bed because of my back. So
Justin's ankles sound like he's walking on
oh,
rocks.
my God, dude. St. Louis. That was so ridiculous. I didn't even really realize until you guys told me that, like, every time I walk, my ankle just pop.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else we haven't talked to Coach about, though, here since we took our St. Louis. So, Coach, we went on a boys' trip to St. Louis, the 3 of us. Went down there for Supercross.
On social media.
Yep.
I was living vicariously through you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so we go, here's a fun one for you. So we go to the PulpMX live show.
Oh, God.
Okay. This is, this is, hold on, this gets better.
Oh, yeah,
this
you're gonna
gets
like
better.
Oh.
So I buy tickets.
Coach is just thinking, why the fuck did you go to that?
Oh, no. Coach knows exactly why we went to that. And Coach is going to love where this story is going. So, let me put my tinfoil hat on here for a second.
Yes.
So we walk into this PulpMX live show, and mind you, I had bought tickets for us month and a half in advance at least. As soon as we decided we were doing the trip and I found out there was a pulp show, I was like, dude, we're fucking going. Because usually when I go to a race, it's with the chick and the kid, and it's like, they don't know anything about it. The kid's not going to sit through it, whatever. Guys trip, cool, we're fucking doing it. So anyway, we walk in. They have a big-ass list, like 4 pages of people who have bought and paid for tickets, right? And I tell them the name. And they look, and they look, and they look, and magically, we aren't on the list.
Imagine that.
So weird, right? And then they go,
so weird.
They go, well, do you have a thing? Do you have your registration number or whatever? Which I had screenshotted when I bought them, so I had it just in case something happened. And I go,
just maybe happen.
Yeah, and I pull it up, and they go, oh, well, you know, we've had some people that aren't on the list. And I'm thinking, you know, I didn't buy the tickets yesterday, okay? This wasn't I bought the tickets and they didn't get printed on the list. I bought the tickets a month and a half ago. We were on the list. We weren't on the list for for some reason. We'll air quote some reason.
Weird reason.
Some weird reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my tinfoil hat story of the live Pulp MX show that
By the
we
way-
magically weren't on the list for.
Garbage show, by the way.
Did they make you pay? Did they make you pay to get in again?
Oh no. I had the thing
Okay.
and they gave us wristbands and
Okay.
we got in, so it was cool. But
Show is garbage.
yeah, well, it was.
I think a lot of it had to do with
Fucking
you
Logan
couldn't hear it
Carnell.
because Carnell and his crowd, he's
So fucking
he's riding his
proud.
OnlyFans high right now. Thinks he's
Yeah,
the
fucking
man.
everybody talking and
Yeah.
yelling and screaming, and they would shut the fuck up.
There was an upstairs section, Coach, and there was people talking like the entire to the point that like Weege was. You could tell Weege was getting very upset with them being up there being loud.
Look, I told you guys, the only reason I even wanted to go to that show was because of Kiefer, because outside everybody else there, they kissed my ass. I
Justin
don't care.
Bogle was there, dude.
Bogle was
Justin
there.
Bogle was there.
Hey, man, and Phil was Phil.
I so agree with you, Justin. I've never met Kiefer,
Yep.
but he seems like the most legitimate dude ever. I mean, he calls a spade a spade.
Mhm.
He speaks. He thinks before he speaks. He doesn't. I don't know. I look forward to meeting him one day because he seems like just a cool overall dude.
He also calls Mathis on his bullshit when he's like not agreeing with him, which everybody else on that show. I know that him
I
and
think JT argues with him a little
yeah, but I feel like, and I don't disagree. They obviously do argue a lot, but I feel like it's become now like a thing as part of like getting the show over. Whereas like I feel like Kiefer will just like the whole home life thing. Like Kiefer is all about that, and Mathis isn't on board. And Kiefer every time will be like, no, totally. And then that was another part of the show. Saw somebody propose to somebody else because
Yeah, I don't know
you
if
know.
I'd want to propose to my chick. At a Pulp
no,
Live
that
show, but-
dude probably got yelled at.
Yeah, you think?
So yeah, but needless to say, it was quite interesting that we just magically weren't on that list.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Did you guys get it on video and documented?
no,
we did. I think I might have that part.
I don't know. I was
So
just saying.
I got this little Insta 360 camera, or I don't know, Insta 1X or whatever. It like goes on the visor of your hat, so it's like POV all day. So I was playing with that, and I might
There you
have
go.
it. I might have it. I'd have
So
to
love
look.
it.
the show wasn't that great.
Hey man,
But-
it was
Yeah, it was
worth going to see once.
It was a cool little location. I mean, it was something to do on Friday night. But
Yeah.
I think we had more fun at PBR.
We did it.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
let's put it this way, Coach. There's some people in the pits that we saw on Friday night at the bar. There's some loose programs flying around.
There's some very
out
lax programs, whether they
there.
be
Some
privateers
loose
or not.
programs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be. I'll be
So-
honest. I'll be honest with you. Some of the people that work at some of the teams, some just rando people, they're not really the coolest people in the world because they're fucking weird.
Yeah,
Like those people at Kawasaki.
yeah. Whatever.
Oh yeah, so basically
There you
Factory Kawasaki was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Factory Kawasaki outside of Anderson.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, no, it was a good time, Coach. So
Yeah.
and
That's awesome.
we're still
Good
all
job,
kicking.
guys.
It's funny these guys talk about they're getting older and feeling it with threes.
Mhm.
I'm
Still in
a
the
little
twos.
behind. I'm 27, but
You'll get there when it's
went
time.
riding the other day, and so we're doing the Tucker E Power Tour. With some of the e-bikes and the e-motorcycles. I'm sure you've talked with Chris about it a little bit.
Hey,
but
Justin,
Sure.
We missed our.
I had a rental van,
invite
and I
for
could.
that.
Yeah, we don't get invited to anything. when it
Dude, I
comes
only
to-
had the van for like 2 days.
Oh.
It's been a
Sad
quick in and
face.
out thing. A lot of miles on the road this week. But where I'm going with this is I had the bike and it went to Martin and went to lift my leg to climb in the back of the van, and the flexibility really isn't there.
That lock on
It was
you?
a little hard to get my leg up to step in the van.
Was it
so-
because you were trying to hang with Thomas Sunis?
No, dude, it was first ride in a little while. Track was a little tricky.
Did you
I'm
stretch?
like,
Did
and
you
I-
stretch before you rode?
no, I didn't. So that's where I'm going with this. That's one thing I'm looking forward to at the Moto E camp
Oh, boy.
is the stretching. I'm sure which will be a topic of
Absolutely.
discussion, right?
It will be. In fact, what you should not do is stretch, believe it or not.
Oh, what the? Holy crap!
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
See, there you go.
All right, you were already off to a good start.
Yep. So
Yeah, and so will all the listeners. You know, we've been told if you want to improve your range of motion, you need to stretch. If I can get any of the listeners to stand up, you guys may, if you guys want to do this, give me 30 seconds. Stand up. Put your right leg on the table that's in front of you.
like straight up, or can we like round it? Round on
just
the
go
way
ahead.
up, or we got to lift leg straight up?
Yep. Go ahead and stand up in front of the table or in front of your chair, depending on your flexibility of your hamstrings.
All right, well, I got We're up there.
So put your right leg up on the chair or the table. And what I want you to do is slowly lower your chest down to your kneecap. You feel that burn in the back of the knees or the back of the hamstrings?
Yep.
Okay, come back up. Just take the pressure off just a little bit. Now gently come down again until you feel that burn for just a second, and then come back up. You guys feel that?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and have a seat.
God, I wish right now we don't have like video on. We're just doing audio.
Yeah, we're
I
not
wish they could
filming,
see
which
that.
sucks because that would have been great.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to explain to you is more important that the listeners do it and feel it, because what you just felt was what's called the stretch reflex. So inside the muscle spindle cells, you have an electrical communication between the muscles and the brain, and we've been created in a way that there's a self-defense mechanism to keep us from hurting ourselves. So what you just felt, look at your bicep, put your arm straight out in front of you. The bicep originates from the crease of your elbow, but it inserts in the top of your shoulder. Well, when you go to do a stretch, if the muscle thinks it's going to be torn, its only goal is to bring each end of the muscle, the origin and the insertion, to try to bring each end of the muscle closer to one another. So if you are holding one end of the rope and I'm holding the other, and the rope is taut, and then somebody pushes in the middle of it, it's either going to pull the rope out of my hand or your hand. What ends up happening is more people get injured trying to stretch than they do by stretching, and more people will have shortened muscle length by stretching than not stretching. So this is why you see that I've got so many videos out on foam rolling and trigger point therapy, because the muscle can get a chance to relax and elongate without running the risk of shortening a muscle and tearing it off either the origin or the insertion, essentially one end or the other of the muscle. You see why stretching doesn't work?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Especially when you're cold.
Yeah.
Now, you guys get done riding, sure, the muscle temperature is at its highest. Go ahead and do all the stretching, what we call single muscle isolated stretching. Of course, it's going to be beneficial, but you've got to preempt it with the muscle has to be warm. If you take a piece of metal and you freeze it and you try to bend it, what happens to it?
Breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Creases, breaks,
muscle
whatever.
Muscle tissue is no different.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between us is if you rip the attachment off the origin or the insertion, one end or the other, now what happens is you have scar tissue, which is less flexible. So now you lose mobility because you've been stretching and creating microfilament tears. You don't know what you don't know. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And that's an example of what we want to get across at our camps. You know, Cole had a very, very legitimate, innocent question. And most everybody's out there thinking, well, I'm losing that mobility. Injuries, getting older, combination of both. The intention is good, but the end result is counterproductive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to explain. I don't want to just say, don't stretch. Please explain to me. We just did. So I hope that resonates with the listeners.
Yeah, well, that works. That makes me not feel bad for not stretching now, because I've never been a stretcher
That's right.
ever.
Yeah. Well, I learned that a long time ago with running marathon stuff. I always, people would talk all the time, do not stretch cold before you start trying to run. Go out and jog, fast walk, whatever. And then if you want to do, some mobility stretching, they talk about that, and then go run and then stretch afterwards is more
That's exactly
what I've been taught. And the foam rolling's tricky because it's really hard, especially for me, to watch on YouTube because it's usually so boring to watch.
Sure,
No offense, Coach. Sorry. I have tried to watch some of your videos too, but But there are some times, I know I've had some lower, again, our ages start with threes now.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some lower back things, and I have watched some foam rolling videos and figured out that section of it, and it does definitely help if I have lower back issues going on or tight lower back to foam roll it out, and helps out with that. So
100%. And when you take it, one step further, if you add foam rolling, then dynamic movements.
Yep.
And then you get on the motorcycle, go out, do 2 stand-up laps, and then if you can, come in and then stretch and then go back out, or do that before the gate drops, whatever it may be. You're going to you'll perform at a much higher level of your capability than anything else. And I don't want this to sound like a soapbox, but I can't tell you how many people that we see go to the races that are very, very talented, but they undermine their potential by just doing everything wrong. not warming up, not drinking an isotonic drink, not they're mistaking because the air temperature is hot, thinking that they're metabolically warmed up. There's a distinct difference between being metabolically warmed up. We'll talk about this at camp. It's called the lactic acid shuffle. You guys ever notice your second set in the gym always feels easier than the first?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's getting the lactic acid shuffle. That's getting a neuromuscular communication going. Well, think about it. If I can get you to warm up properly, instead of using 3 of your 5 laps to get up to speed, your opening lap matches your last lap because you're essentially tricked your body into thinking you've already been out there for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about knowing what to do at the right time. And what I don't like, and this pisses me off to no end, is when you get somebody that understands this physiology. There's not many in our sport that do, but their whole thing is, well, I just want to share it with you because you're not paying me as a client. That's ridiculous. I want to make sure that we have more and more riders that are enjoying what they're doing, less risk of injury, less downtime. And not everybody wants a coach. I get that, but I'm not going to be the guy, hey, behind curtain number 3 for just $19.99, you'll know why not to stretch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you're going to take the time to come out, I don't want to keep the information from you. I want to empower you with the why behind. Yeah, it's easy for me to come on the show and say, don't stretch. Everyone's like, that guy's a moron. But if I have you feel it, explain the stretch reflex and help you understand why you're losing range of motion because you're stretching, you're tearing tissue, creating scar tissue, that's going to be a big aha moment for a lot of the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? If you have 10,000 listeners and we get 1% of those that stop injuring themselves, we've increased the longevity of an athlete.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Consider yourself highly competitive. I think you're still both equally important. And that sounds hokey, but man, I see it so often. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. So one thing I've been getting into is mobility exercises, especially before I start weight training now. Like I said, bum shoulder, bum knee, or trick knee, and so I've used the new apparatus of TikTok to find a lot of these, and I don't always take the first one I get. I usually find about 100 of them and then go from there. But I have noticed, with doing leg day, I free weight squat all the time. I love doing that. And in the old days, what would happen is my groin, inner thigh area would get really, really tight, especially after I squatted really heavy. I have now started to do some hip mobility drills, and nothing crazy. Just do them a few times, a couple different ones a few times. And I have noticed now, as I'm building back up, that I'm not getting that tightness the next couple days, or at least not as bad as what it used to be. Where are you at with mobility drills and stuff, especially working on that somewhat before you get going with say lifting or something?
It's absolutely imperative. The problem that we run into is for a lot of the listeners, they don't think that there's any benefit to it until it becomes a problem.
Yep.
And this is what we say in our offices and our rehab centers is there's a difference between prehab and rehab. Most of us understand if you have a shoulder injury or you have a knee surgery, they put you in rehab. Well, what about understanding what's the catalyst of the pain? We were in video production all day yesterday and today. We're putting together a digital product called The Anatomy of an Injury. So what we're trying to do is get your listeners to understand what's the cause of an injury. What can I do to keep it from happening? Heaven forbid, if I do get injured, how do I correct it and keep it from coming back? It's going to be about a 50 to 60 hour video series taking every body part, shoulder, knee, lower back, et cetera, et cetera. So that way you guys can go through almost like a library. Trav, you said it yourself. Hey, my knee is kind of jacked up. My shoulder's jacked up. You can go to that body part, understand how to identify it, how to fix it, and how to keep it from happening again. And I'm not going to say it's extensive, but it's extensive. I want the listeners to understand the why behind I'm in pain. How do I keep it from coming back? Instead of somebody saying, hey, just take this supplement. Hey, buy this special powder. That's not what fixes it. It's usually an imbalance between strength and flexibility. I mean, look at your arms, look at your bicep. you guys have all seen guys in the gym that have overdeveloped their biceps and they look like monkeys. Well, that's because the bicep is stronger than the bicep on the front of the arm is stronger than the tricep on the back of the arm. So the tricep can't bring the elbow back into anatomical neutral. So they look like a monkey. Well, think about it. If I walk up to you and I grab that elbow and I grab your forearm and I straighten it out, what am I going to do? I'm going to rip the long-headed biceps, which goes up into your shoulder. I'm going to rip that off the attachment because the muscle's so strong and it shortens so much that if I straighten that forearm, I'm going to rip the long-headed biceps off. Well, think about a fifth gear wide open accident when you look like a yard doll going down the track. The velocity of the get off causes that lower part of, call it your forearm, it causes that to extend because of the velocity of the get off. What do you have? It's not even the impact of the ground. It's the torn muscle because the muscle was tight before you yard darted yourself. You see the reverse problem in that whole scenario?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what we're trying to avoid. You've got to be flexible enough to handle a big hit. If you case a jump, come up short, or if you happen to have a get off, you can. The one that I got to give credit to, and I do talk to Lucas Lucas Myrtle on a regular basis. We talk about, remember when Jet, I don't believe it was this weekend. I think it was, well, it would have had to have been 2 or 3 weekends ago when Jet, it was last weekend. Remember when he was in practice and he was going around that right-hander and his front wheel went over the edge of the berm and his bike got cut up in the hay bale and he just literally ran down the berm.
Out of it.
Yeah.
Think about the flexibility associated with that, because you've got to get off the bike and you're going. It's like jumping out of a car at 30 miles an hour. You got to catch up to the velocity. He did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. Is that a strength issue or is that a flexibility issue? Is it a flexibility issue or a strength issue? The answer is yes, because one cannot exist without the other. Cole, unfortunately, has to sit in a car traveling territory to territory to territory to territory. As you guys are sitting right there, look down at your leg. Look at that 90 degree between your femur and your torso. So all those muscles in that region are just getting shorter and shorter and shorter. You jump out of your van to go walk into a client and you're like, whoa, those hips just don't open up like they used to.
Yep.
People wonder why privateers struggle.
Motorcycle. Yeah. And then you get on the motorcycle, you want to be in the attack position, but your hip flexors are so tight. Now your lower back hurts because if the quadriceps are tight, they're pulling the pelvis forward and down. That creates that curvature in the small of your spine. And you're like, gosh, my low back hurts. So what do? You sit down on the motorcycle. What's the worst way to ride a motorcycle?
Sitting down.
Yep.
Which people don't realize, those hips are the pivot point for everything.
That's exactly right. But you have a day job. You do your day job, and then it destroys our hobby. Not so much for Cole Racing Pro, but once that pelvis is anteriorly rotated and pulled down, now your low back hurts. And this is what we say, there's a difference between the pain site and the pain source. Your lower back hurts, but you don't need to foam roll your lower back. What should you foam roll? Your quads.
Mm-hmm.
Because that brings the pressure off of the quads, brings the pelvis into anatomical neutral. Low back pain miraculously disappears. Now I get you on the motorcycle. Now I can hand you over to a riding coach. And that riding coach can say, all right, I want you in that attack position. You have the strength, the flexibility, and then you piggyback that with good endurance. And guess what? You guys can teach, because you guys are good riding coaches. You can teach these guys what to do if they have the strength and endurance. And that's our takeaway when we go to Bucks Bash is I want everybody to be able to do whatever the local riding coach asks for as long as it's asked of them. But more importantly, understand, why am I able to do this? Cole went to get in the back of the truck or sprinter van. I was like, oh, Nelly, that flexibility is just not there.
Especially the last time Coach saw you.
Yeah.
Especially the last time Coach saw Cole.
Yeah, I didn't make myself look too good. I didn't impress Coach too
That was
much.
awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a quick stop, But
I was trying to show you my Skittles, but
Yeah.
my Skittles, I was tasting the rainbow pretty early.
Hey, don't worry. When Chris asked him on their show how he did, Coach was like, you know what? He did real well, but he took a soil sample.
No, it was, I don't know if you've...
I really, this just goes to show, this goes to show for the listeners how kind Cole is. He just didn't want to show up Kevin Moran. That's all he wanted to do. He was just trying to be polite because Kevin was going kind of rip roaring fast on that 125.
Yeah.
But Cole just didn't want to be the fastest guy out there. He wanted
That's
Kevin.
right. That's completely right. I
He
didn't
just
really
wanted
want to
Kevin to
embarrass
look
everybody
good.
on the home course.
Oh,
there was a lot of
God.
talent
Here
out
we
there.
go.
So I'm just kidding.
Shit's
boy.
getting
I'm
deep in here.
kind of excited to see. My thing was I'm a one lap hero, so I was kind of curious to see how far off the pace I was, because we don't get guys that come from out of town like that
I mean, the
very
year before,
often.
because Jeff Walker, when he couldn't
At
pass you.
that caliper, what, on the two-stroke?
Yeah.
I had him for a lap or two.
That's what I
on the
mean.
two-stroke.
Yeah. So you wanted to see if you could show Kev up.
But it's kind of like a cool game to play with yourself. Like, hey, how much faster are these guys really? And really puts it into perspective for you.
Well, and then what kills me is then you watch Supercross on Saturday night, and Kevin's a good starter and has to go to the LCQ to get in.
Exactly.
You're like, how it's inconceivable how fast those guys really are until you're sitting trackside watching Kevin Morantz go by, and you're like, for the love of God, how can you even think that fast?
I have made that point a couple times since you guys were here in the fall, of like being on a track with Kev and like mentally knowing that he's way faster than you, but when you actually are riding and you see him blow by you and you see how fast he gets away from you, and then you think about that, and then you look at him and you watch Tomac blow by him the way he blew by me, and you just go, I don't even understand how that's fucking possible.
Well, that's
exactly.
That's like I tell this story to people. There was this. I don't think he even rides anymore, but there was this local. Well, I say local because he was from Illinois. This kid back in the day, probably like 10 years ago, his name was Justin Freund, and he rode the 250 class. And you probably watched him a couple of times, Cole, at some point.
I don't know the name though.
But he was just a privateer kid, but he would do all the East Coast Nationals and stuff, but he would also go do the Pro-Ams. And this was back when like some of the Pro-Ams used to be at certain tracks on Fridays instead of Sundays. And he would go when the track's fresh, it's like a highway, and he would go like 5th or 6th at these Pro-Ams. And people were like, dude, you can't even win a Pro-Am. You're going to go do a National? And he's like, oh, just wait till the National. And then he'd go do the National, and he'd get in the top 20, and people are like, how the hell do you get top 20 at a National, but you can't win a Pro-Am? And he goes, because I don't get paid to go fast on a highway. He goes, I get paid to go fast when there's 4-foot tall braking bumps and 3-foot deep ruts. And people could never understand it until they actually rode with him when it was rough. And they're like, oh, it makes sense, because you're not going during the week and riding a highway when the track, you can go third gear wide open everywhere. He's like, I go when I actually have to work on my technique and my brain power, and I actually have to think about what's going on. And it's the same thing. Like, you don't really realize how fast and talented these dudes are, because a lot of people can, like Cole just said, like 1-lap, 2-lap heaters. Anybody can go fast on a smooth track. I mean, we've all seen it at local races. Like, somebody who's a pro will come and he'll be second for like 2-3 laps. But it's like when the track gets rough and you're actually having to use your brain and your technique, you're like, oh, now I understand why these dudes are some of the best in the world.
Yep. All right, Coach. Couple. I know we said we wouldn't keep you too long here. Couple racing questions here for the Pro Series. Cole, you want to ask the first one? Because I know you got the first one there.
No, I got one for you. I came prepared, Coach. I got some notes in the old
Just for
phone,
you, Coach.
so.
He came prepared just for you.
Yeah.
So obviously with the big news dropping from the KTM camp this past week with Ryan Dungey lining back up. This is a guy you've worked with, you know pretty well. How do you think this is going to go, Coach? We know he keeps himself in shape, I believe, has a solid base, took 5 years off.
Still rode, though. Still rode, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not at that level.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you think this is going to go, Coach? Are you seeing 5 to 10? Like, where do you think the fitness side of it is going to be?
I think fitness side, Ryan's not going to come in unless he's ready. We know that for a fact. On the flip side of that, the one thing that we have to keep in mind is think about how many guys did not finish Supercross this year. Go team by team. You got Plessinger coming back at KTM. You've got
Dylan
over at Honda. We got Roxon coming back. You've got obviously we're not going to see Dean. I don't know if Husky's going to put another bike out there.
AC's out.
AC is going to be out, but it looks like maybe Max Anstey's going to be over there. I think what's going to be interesting is we are essentially bringing A1 to the first round of outdoors. Now, granted, I get it. AC won't be there, and I know Webb won't be there.
Yep.
But help me out. I don't think Dean Wilson was much of an issue this year. No disrespect, but he wasn't shaking up the top 10
No, he's
as
like,
we're
what,
getting ready to talk about.
13th at the beginning.
Yeah. So if we look at the idea that each one of those teams are going to start to really get, their horse stable full, I think Dungey will definitely be in shape, but I will be very, very surprised if he's able to be a competitor. Here's why. And here's why. But here's why. And I think the word of Ryan Dungey, he's a class act all the way around. If we think back to why he tapped out in the first place, remember when he talked about he wasn't willing to go to that ragged edge safely anymore?
Mm-hmm.
I think that right there is going to be the piece. We know he's a fierce competitor. We know he understands how to manage a championship. You've got guys now with him coming back. I think we saw it in the 250 class. Nobody was afraid of Forkner. They all know he's capable, but nobody was afraid to park him, because now, and I'm kind of toggling back and forth. Can you imagine if you're Justin Barcia and now Dungey comes back in and he's going to steal a couple $100 because we know it's AMA. It's not
a couple
thousands,
$100.
Bing.
It's these guys aren't worried about it being Ryan Dungey. We don't want to rock the boat at all. They're going to be out for blood. They're going to think about almost how insulting it is. Oh, you think you can just ruck back up and pick right up where you left off? So that's going to be the landscape that's going to be hard to navigate, because there's always been a respect. I don't know if you guys got to listen to Mike Alessi on Whiskey Throttle, and he talked about if there's one advice he could give to the younger riders is respect the elderly. And when he raced against McGrath and kind of challenged McGrath told him that. He was like, what are you talking about? I'm just 16 and want to race my dirt bike. The idea here is people have given Dungey the respect. They've given him the space. But I think now they have absolutely no apprehensions to stuff him, take them out, clip them, because now they're like, what? You think you're good enough after a 5-year hiatus to come back? And then I think with enough roughing up in a short period of time, now we all know Dungey's a good starter. So if he gets up front and he runs clean with 3 or 4 top guys, would any of us be surprised if he finishes top 5, top 3? None. But do I think he's going to do it? No. Only because I don't think when he gets into that bar-to-bar, fierce competition, Barcia style with a wheel in your front face, it's going to pull back those memories as to why he politely tapped out 5 years ago. And I think that's what we're going to see more than anything else. And what a perfect power play. And this is typical Roger DeCoster at KTM. He's only racing 2 races. So if he goes out there and he's 11th or 12th, he just walks off and has his, he goes into the sunset, no harm, no problem. If he's leading the points, how many more rounds do you think the guy comes back for?
Mm-hmm.
Till he's out of the top 5.
Well,
I said this.
Yeah. Hey, what you need to do is you need to call our boy Johnny Hopper up, because Johnny and I are going back and forth on this, because Johnny thinks he's going to podium and win. And I told Johnny he's fucking high as a kite.
Well, you got to think about what Coach just said about the last time. Like, I think back to that A2 press conference when Kenny got hurt in 17.
Yeah.
And he's up there, and when nobody really knew how bad Kenny's injuries were, we just saw him getting lawn darted off the track and him not moving. And Dunge was up on the press conference, and he was emotional.
Yeah,
because he was thinking this might be the last time we ever see Ken Roczen ride a dirt bike. Yep. And I think already in his mind he knew that hey, this was the end. But I think seeing Kenny, a guy that was the only guy that was going to beat Dungey that year.
Dungey's just there to fill that seat till Hurlings comes in.
But there's a point.
Here's my thing too: the person that wins in all of this is KTM.
Oh yeah,
100%.
KTM.
100%.
Yeah, KTM. What are they going to win this year? Webb isn't going to win a Supercross.
AP just needs to stay healthy.
No, Max Volan sure as hell wasn't going to win one.
Max Volan might not even be on a dirt bike outdoors.
That's what I'm saying. So coming to outdoors, KTM's winning with the press. Maybe not with results. They're not going to get any MXGP coverage.
And the one guy that wasn't even supposed to really race for them too much longer is the only guy that's got to win for him this year, and Marvin Muscan.
Yeah.
Yep. Tom Vial. He's
started
about their only hope of winning a title this year. For
and he just lost
any
the
form
points
of
lead
racing.
again. He just lost the points lead again. So.
Yeah, here's the thing. This is a Band-Aid over an open gash like Dino's ass, man. Like, it's fucking... It's so bad for KTM this year. So bad. And for us insiders who look at it, we go, holy shit, like, this is amazing how terrible this is. For everyone else, they're just like, oh, this is sweet. They got Cairoli. They got Dungey coming back. Yeah. We don't know what Herlings is going to do, but at some point he's going to be on a bike, whether it's here or at the GP, so that's going to be fucking cool. So, like, they're winning the press that way. But
I like it, though.
But then you get on the other side of it, and you're like, except for you went from winning every fucking title by an Austrian brand for however many years here, and now you're winning 0 titles. You've got next to no race wins in the U.S. You have very few in Europe. Like, this is not a good look.
And we're supposed to have a Hurlings announcement here within the next week or two of what's actually going to happen. But the best thing that they could have, and like Coach just said about, hey, Dungey's only signed up for 2 rounds, and like the Cairoli thing, which I've called bullshit on that because he wants to do Redbud.
Yeah.
He even said no matter what he wanted to do Redbud when they had the KTM intro thing.
Yep.
Is if Cairoli comes out and somehow wins the first 2 rounds and Dungey is top 5. And then they keep going. They keep going. Oh, hey, like we're just here. Cairoli's on his retirement tour. Dungey's coming back to fill a seat. Like that is the best KTM scenario they could have. Or if at least one of them is top 5, then they could go, well, this experiment worked. Like we don't have any expectation.
So here's my KTM
tinfoil
thing,
hat,
I guess. Yeah, I don't know if you could call it that.
Oh yeah, tinfoil hat. Oh yeah,
but like the way they're playing the press right now, the way KTM is playing the press. Yeah. I believe is a really good way. It's like when you're talking to a chick, right? Mm-hmm. This is gonna sound weird,
corny,
but like tell her how awesome you are, or tell her how much you suck, right? You bring a chick to the dirt bike track and you tell her how much you suck, right? Mm-hmm. And you go out, you roll all the jumps, and she's like, "Damn, this guy does suck," or something, right? Or maybe she thinks you suck or whatever. But you go out there and you're throwing whips and stuff, and she's like, "Damn, this is awesome. You're actually pretty good." Like kind of an under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
But if you go to the track and you actually do suck, you're like, "Hey, I told you so. I
told you I sucked.
Look,
I told you I sucked."
I'll put my tinfoil hat on. Dungey was not supposed to race.
No, he wasn't.
The only reason the Dungey thing got announced is because Herlings got on a bike and it didn't go well.
Yep.
That's the only reason.
And Webb was not racing outdoors, so.
Yeah, and Coach, by the way, you talked about Webb not racing. Has there been a press release that he's not racing outdoors that you've seen somewhere? Or?
I have not seen a press release, but he will probably use a clause in his contract that he's injured at some level. It might be, but that's, I mean, if we look at the framework, how much money is KTM spending to make sure that they get some positive publicity? You guys have already articulated what they haven't done this year. Look at the salary of Webb, Plessinger. Now you're going to add, I don't even care if it's a 2-race. What's it going to cost to bring Dungey back and Cairoli back, possibly Herling back? You're now looking at a 5-man roster. And that's without Webb.
Well, they don't have a 250 guys. So.
Herlings was not going to be cheap because that was the thing that we had talked about weeks ago on this show when we were talking about it, when I was like not even buying into it at all. I was like, the amount of money that was going to cost them to have Herlings come over here was insane, but obviously we now know that his first ride didn't go well, and I don't think we see him halfway into our series.
So, Coach, you're saying...
Think about...
Go ahead, Coach.
Go ahead, Coach.
No, go ahead, Cole. Finish your thought, because I've got mine.
Well, I was going to go into what you said about the injury clause because that kind of got my gears turning with Cooper Webb and KTM. It basically sounds like he's got 2 middle fingers up. He's sick of riding for KTM, doesn't like what's going on over there. I have an injury clause. I'm getting paid. I'm sitting out for the summer. Is that kind of what's going on?
100%, and we'll probably be on blue next year.
That's what I was thinking as well.
We'll
Depending
see.
on where the puzzle pieces fall.
I was going to say, I've heard some interesting puzzle pieces that might not be the case for next year yet. So,
yeah, well, you think about it. The big linchpin is, does Tomac come back? Because we've seen 3 450s over there, and that's not a big deal. But if you have Tomac, you have Webb, and then you have Ferrandis over there. I do know Ferrandis has re-signed, so he's set. He's in place there. The big linchpin is going to be Tomac. Obviously everybody knows you've got Christian Craig. He'll be over at Husky next year, which is going to be a fantastic fit. So that's the big thing. Webb doesn't want to be there. what I think is interesting, and I don't want to take the conversation a different direction, but just a couple seeds to think about. Think about all the finger pointing going on. You've got Tomac, who says the Cowie's a stink bug, and you've got Anderson was very good. He never badmouthed the Husqvarna, but the thing's a stink bug. And then you've got Anderson not able to do well on Husky. You've got Tomac not doing well on Cowie. And then you turn right around and you've got Marvin Muscan, who's winning on a KTM that Webb says is a stink bug. So look at those three scenarios. Tomac says Cowie sucks, goes to Yamaha, does well. Jason goes to Cowie, takes a stink bug that Tomac said is no good, is obviously doing quite well and even winning on it. Then you have Webb, who says the bike's a piece of crap, and then Marvin's out there winning races on it with only a Supercross contract. Now, yeah, we're only human, right? If Marv's out to prove something, he's out to prove something. But Webb is such a badass of a dude, both on and off the track. I love the dude. The last person on that paddock that just wants to go back there and just let the season end up without getting a win is going to be Cooper Webb. I can't even imagine how pissed off that guy is. So when someone's like, oh, well, Webb just wants to sail in the season and move in. No. Look at all the stats that are floating around. Nobody as a defending champion has ever performed so poorly in the next season.
Worst season ever.
You think do you think Webb wants that on his resume?
No.
Hell no. But yet you've got Marv, who has nothing to prove and everything to win. So think about all the finger pointing that's going on. You have John Tomac that went out and essentially slaughtered Cowie. Cowie politely is trying to say, oh, that's not the case. And by the way, I have heard that that's indeed true, that what Tomacs were asking for was just completely unreasonable and very difficult to appease. So there are two sides to every side of the equation. We all know that Kawasaki's not easy to work with, whether you go back to James or even Ricky's days. So nobody's innocent in anything, but look at all the finger pointing. Tomac, Cowie sucks, won't listen, don't help. They go over to Yamaha, kills it. Shows you just how great Yamaha is. Then you got Muscan showing that you can win on a bike that no one else thinks is winnable. Jason Anderson showing that those assholes at Kawasaki are actually pretty easy to work with, and he's doing quite well on the bike. Now, I'm not calling them assholes. That was the way it was kind of positioned.
Portrayed,
Yep.
Take all of that drama. Now, we know Webb's not going to race, unfortunately, this summer. Look at all that drama, and now Dungey has to race against it. Because Tomac, you know he's got a heart on his pants for outdoors. Because he wants to prove to everybody. And then think about it. They're sitting there with the defending champion in Ferrandis. So now you've got two big dick swinging contests. I'm going to steal that line from Johnny Hopper. Okay,
It's true, though. It's very true.
Very true.
Going on. You got that going on. And you think about it. What is going to happen? And I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but you guys are more historians than I am. What is the track record that Star Yamaha has for when they know a rider is vacating the property, the bikes just don't seem to perform quite as well.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, no.
Now you got Christian Craig going to Husky.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
So now miraculously we don't see that one-star Yamaha 450 compared to Tomac and Ferrandis. And I'm not trying to blaspheme anybody, but if you listen to podcasts, what does everybody say? When Star Yamaha knows no one's coming, the guy's not coming back. Boy, the bike just miraculously doesn't have the horsepower.
Look, they'll tell you that J. Martin Alex had electrical issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yep. J. Martin, Alex Martin.
Look,
Definitely
they wanted to pit onto their own semi at Millville. It's okay. They didn't want to be in the rig. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go down that thread of thought. And this is again a complete bunny hole, but if I can just go there for just 90 seconds, which by the way, if you guys want to come back to it, I did hear there will be one, possibly two KTM 250s in the pits this summer.
Yes,
I have heard that rumor. Yep.
Well, we're coming back to that. Yes.
Yep.
So think about this. Think about the summer that J. Mart was riding for Geico, obviously leading the points. He gets a fill-in ride on the 450, leads all but 2 laps at Daytona. And think about what those contract negotiations look like. He was supposed to be the next 450 Honda rider. He goes a couple more rounds during the summer, runs into Jay Coop in the air, breaks his back. I want you guys, because I know you can visualize the GoPro video when they look over at each other.
Oh,
I know you can visualize it.
That was bad.
When they hit the ground, I want you to pause time. Where was Jet Lawrence at that time? Now, fast forward to where Lucas Myrtle is at right now, at the negotiation table for the exact same ride that Jay Mart was looking at solidifying.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing what a difference 4 years will do?
Yeah. Jesus.
Think about 4 years ago, Austin Forkner. Think about 4 years ago, Jeremy Martin.
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago, Austin Forkner was battling with Zach Osborne
For a title.
for a title.
Look at where J Mart's at.
Mm-hmm.
Probably won't see him this summer. Probably is not getting offered much from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 years ago was the next heir apparent in a 450 class, i.e., what we see with Sexton.
Oh, wait. J Mart's injury is bad enough he's not coming back this summer?
His labrum's pretty bad, which actually makes remember that comment I said about Nick Romano?
Yeah.
Makes that more and
More apparent. Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
These poor Martin kids, they just need to retire and go run Millville.
Well, see, that's the thing. I brought this up when we did the fantasy show, and Cole, obviously, you jumped off. You had stuff going on, but I have not talked to anybody, so I want to make this known that I do not have any information. I just did some digging. Romano had an injury after Minios. I don't know the extent of it, but I know he got injured, took some time off, but he's done some qualifiers since then. He was at south of the border, cleaned up, whatever. But then I started to do some digging, and I go, he's been in a few of these qualifiers, and he's not actually signed up for any regionals at all. And then I started thinking about it, and I go, okay, so J Mart's injury is a lot worse than people thought. Justin Cooper has been riding, Colton Nichols has been riding, but who knows how badly those injuries are going to affect them. And Levi Kitchen, same thing. And then I go, that leaves Nate Thrasher as the only 250 guy. And I'm a firm believer in Nate, but obviously Nate's career so far has been very up and down. And then I look and go, why would Romano show up to these qualifiers and not sign up for any of the regionals?
LeBlanc?
No, Romano.
Oh, yeah.
Nick
yeah.
Romano.
Sorry.
LeBlanc is signed up.
Yes.
Romano, and I go, he was going to go pro after Loretta's. He was not going to go the Chance Hymas route. He was going pro after this year, but I go, seemed kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I made this comment to Travis, and then now that more news with J Mart's labrum is a lot worse, I go, I'm going to almost bet money that Nick Romano is on the line taking J Mart's spot at Paula. And he's riding the whole series. And like I said, I want to make this known. I don't have any insider information. It's just kind of going down a rabbit hole of some digging and kind of knowing how these teams work. And I go, Romano just said, fuck it. Why am I going back to Loretta's this year? It's pointless for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, let me ask you this, guys. When you talk about Colt Nichols is riding and Jay Coop is riding, are we going to see him this summer?
I don't know. I think Cooper, we see him, but I don't think we see Colt Nichols, to be honest with you.
I think we do.
You think so?
I think so.
Man,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Cole, and here's the only reason why. I think that they being Star Yamaha, I think they're going to try to pull a trump card that because he didn't. No, that's right. Colt did. He got hurt on the opening lap.
It would have been Cooper.
Yeah.
That's right. It would have been Jay Coop that they're going to pull, that he never got an actual gate drop, so he should be allowed to come back and defend it. So I apologize, Cole. I'll take that back. I think then we will see Colt Nichols because he has no choice, right? They're going to pin him to a board that he got he got two corners in, but he got hurt, but he did get a gate drop. He has to move up.
Mm-hmm.
Lord only knows where he's going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to the 250 class. Let's just say that we do see Romano getting lined up. There's still three other bikes that are missing in the Star Yamaha arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Who's sitting in the rafters?
Oh, God.
That's the new best thing to come out of the 250 Star Yamaha program.
I don't even want to go down that road.
I think he's racing a couple.
I don't want to go.
He's not till next. No, he's not till next year.
I think he'll do the drop in, go back to Loretto's kind of thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they so here watching their vlogs. Brian
and
talked
for anybody
about it.
listening, we're talking about Brian Deegan.
Brian talked about it.
You mean Brian's son?
But I believe it's next year.
See,
I don't think it's going to be this year.
I bet he does Loretta's now that Coach made that comment. I bet he does Loretta's in B class. I don't think he's going to win, but say he does Loretta's in B class, bump to A, and then drop in for the last couple nationals, kind of like what Pierce Brown did.
Yeah, is that kind of where you were going with that, Coach?
Absolutely, but here's the key. Not because Brian Deegan and Hayden want to go. They're going to have to go because right now, I mean, look at it. They're paying to have Chisholm out there because the financial penalties from Monster by having an incomplete roster, to pay a rider out there is far less expensive than the financial fines of not being out there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just look at it from a business standpoint, and obviously Brian is a brilliant businessman, he might shit can it and say, nope, he's too young. But yet Mitch Payton was able to convince Adam C to go from an 85 to a 250F at a pro level.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't anymore say that somebody's not ready because AC did it. Now, I'm not saying it was done with the best success and it didn't have its cost. And I think AC is still paying the price for that literally to this day.
Yep.
Ever since he hit the wall in that Supercross overseas, he's never been the same. But all I was thinking about is if you look at that Star Yamaha, you know that there's some big financial ramifications. I mean, let's face it, it's what closed Butler Brothers down. No representation, can't afford to be out there, you breach of contract. Well, now look, Star's got, how many rounds did Star go with no bikes? I think 2 before they put Chisholm out there.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that?
Yeah,
Maybe. Maybe it was 1. I think it was only 1.
One or 2, but either way,
Yeah,
they
it
put
wasn't
Chisholm
long.
out.
It's
Yeah.
still not a good look.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good look, and they didn't take very long. Now you look at that stellar team that they have. I'm just throwing them out there randomly. If I forget one, let me know. But you've got Jay Coote, you have Colt Nichols. We know that Christian Craig's going to go to 450. You're supposed to have Thrasher out there. Now you add what Justin said by putting Romano out there. Well, what if Colt Nichols? I think you said he's coming back. I think we'll see Jay Coop maybe halfway through the season. Do you think, or do you think he'll open up?
I think he'll be.
He's been riding.
He's been riding, but I think he will.
I don't think he's on the line for the first round, though.
I think he is.
You think so? I don't know. Well, see, here's the reason, though. That injury that he's got is the same thing that Hurlings has. Now, obviously, Coop got his earlier. Jay Coop did. But I guess that injury is a lot more
It's
nagging.
pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's not like crazy, like blown out a knee, but it's one of those things that kind of sits with you for a while. So
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of Justin Cooper down at GPF getting motos in and
Yeah.
stuff. So I think he will ride.
If it's going wrong, if it's going badly, though, that's actually the real question is if it's not going well, does he tough it out?
It depends on if he's signed, sealed, and delivered for a 450.
It's also another thing, too, about this whole conversation with these guys, like everybody at Star, is if they don't have a title contender, it's kind of like the same thing, not to the extent, because they've still had success, obviously, with Eli just winning the 450 championship.
Yeah.
But if they go without a 250 title this year, that'll be the first time in a very long time that Star has not won at least one of the 250 titles.
And that brings up a great question, which was my last one I had for Coach, which is, you think Craig throws away this title here next week, or?
Oh, yeah. Travis is up here thinking that there's going to be some Honda debauchery.
Yeah, yeah. Travis has his tinfoil hat on.
Craig will lock it up. What we just need is a track that's got some big whoops, and it's a close enough race that I think he'll be able to seal the deal. But it's pretty hard to argue with. He doesn't have a very good track record of sealing the deal, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying.
Look, Travis thinks Hunter's brother is going to do some fuckery.
Well, here's the thing. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. I do believe that if we get to the main and there is an opportunity that Jet will play some games with Craig.
And then I said Bobby will pay Nate or Chiz to just tee off on Jet.
However, I also think that Craig is mentally softish, and I think that the Lawrence brothers are going to be in his head before we even get to the main where they're all in there together. So, dude, I'm not going to be shocked if Craig throws it away in practice, does another practice crash and just blows out a fucking knee or something.
Oh, my God.
Tell Travis he's crazy.
Did we lose him?
Did we lose Coach?
Coach, still there?
Coach?
Oh, did we lose him? Oh,
damn it, we lost.
Damn it.
Well,
he was like, I'm sick of you, Travis.
He wasn't breaking up, but then
he just hung up because Travis was talking shit about Christian.
Well, fuck me.
Well, when we get him back on, after he finishes his point, I want to ask him about the KTM thing, and then we'll wrap it up with him.
Rob.
Oh,
God damn it.
Twice.
Why is everyone going through a dead zone?
Oh, my God. I don't think he was in the dead zone.
I don't think
he's
so
in his
either.
house.
This might be our end thing. It wasn't with
I
Kev.
guarantee it's yours.
This is
Oh,
my
no.
God.
Wow. Show 200 was going
Show
great
200
for a
was going
while.
so well.
And then just bullshit.
It's going so well.
I'm so sorry, folks.
This is
Oh my God! I can't
I'm
even
really
do
curious
it.
of what he has on KTM, but
the 250 guys.
I want to bring up a point.
What
Vince Freezy
is a good fucking rider?
Yes, Vince Freezy is a good fucking rider.
All right,
and here's why. This is my rant.
Okay, this is a race
I'm
tech
ranting.
rant. TLR Coatings rant.
No, this is my
Cole
Flying
Ugetti.
W rant.
You're flying Dub Kimmy
God.
Granger rant.
Vince Freezy is a good fucking rider. I wish everybody would quit shitting on the guy like he's...
Top 10 250, top 10 450.
Yeah, Vince Freezy's a good fucking rider. That's all I'm saying. Top 10, he's consistent. He's always just been there. He's in the main event every week. Yes, he's made some questionable decisions, but he's going for it. He's been owning it. Like
I'm trying, man. It's not working.
Look, I'm going to be real honest with you. When Amart's not doing a flying dub, he's a good fucking rider.
Yeah.
I kind of, man, I wish Coach was on right now because he'd get a kick out of this. So
Wait, hold on. Let's keep.
This is Coach.
Damn it!
Oh, dude, what is going
fuck
on?
is
Go
happening?
step outside with your
All right,
Walmart
so-
ass service.
So me and Cole could address this. So for anybody that doesn't know, while Travis tries to get Coach back on the line, so for anybody that doesn't know,
that Vince Freezy's a good fucking rider. Dude.
yeah, that too. There was a certain press release that came out on Saturday of a certain team that let somebody out of their contract. And for anybody that doesn't know, Butler Brothers, the debauchery bullshit that is the Butler Brothers, let Shane McElrath out of his contract. And I do in air quotes, but I'm pretty sure
Air
Shane...
quotes, insert
Evil,
Dr. Evil.
which I'm actually pretty sure that Shane let Butler Brothers out of his contract. So this brings up the point. So everything going on with KTM, we know that AP is the actual only guy that is signed for an entire outdoor season. And I love Aaron. I know that you like Aaron. We all kind of like Aaron. He's just a really good guy, solid dude, but he does have tendency to get hurt. With not knowing how healthy he could possibly
you
be.
got him?
Did you get him?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay.
We'll see.
Oh,
We'll see
man.
when we get set down here.
So
Finish
keep
your
going.
point.
So for him the whole season, and we know with Cairoli and Dungey, it's basically we'll see what happens. Do you think that KTM has contacted Shane as a possible, hey, you just came off a KTM team, you know the bike, not well, but you know the bike. Do you think there's a possibility that he might end up on that Red Bull spot for the summer?
As a 250F?
No, he can't because he pointed out the 450.
See, I don't
'Cause
think so
he's-
because they need 250 guys. So this is a
But-
perfect segue into what we were going to finish, Coach.
Coach, you still there?
Yes, sir, bud.
Hell yeah! All right.
Okay, that was going to be a poor choice of words, so we'll
Yes.
restart. But yeah, Coach.
So we're talking about the Butler Brothers thing with
Yeah,
Shane right
yeah.
now.
Coach, so you mentioned or alluded to some stuff with the KTM boys, 250, 450, whatever. But yeah, what are you hearing with KTM? Are you
With the 250s at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Volan will come back, but they are going to put a second 250 bike out there beside him. I haven't heard a definitive name, that's attached to that bike yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it is depending. I know it sounds crazy because we're only 1 week away from the end of the series, but I think with the musical chairs, with teams closing and not quite sure who's healthy and who's not healthy, because obviously it's a bigger grind, a bigger ask to be able to go outdoors with double motos, longer series. And then you also have to keep in mind what's lingering behind the scenes is the World Supercross series. Because are you going to be somebody that's maybe being courted by World Supercross? You heard Michael Leslie talk about it on David Pingree Whiskey Throttle.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to go, whether it be for Smart Tops or whether it's for another maybe HEP Suzuki. Because these teams are starting to realize, hey, wait, I can go race the World Supercross series and make money as a team versus lose money. So you got to factor that into the outdoor nationals. Are you, let's say somebody like a Marvin Muscan, are you really upset now that you didn't get an outdoor contract when now you can move laterally, sign up for the World Supercross? You got a longer series back in your wheelhouse. You don't have to grind 2 motos, long hauls from the hotel to get to the race site. You're seeing a lot. You're hearing a lot of rumbling and noises. So to come back to your question, Cole, definitely we'll see 1, but I'm hearing possibly 2 250s this summer on the KTM.
The only guy that I could think of, and he's actually out of 450 when he races up in Canada, is Jess Pettis. He'd be the only connection that I could see, but I just seen videos of him riding a 450 out in California because I think he's doing the series on a 450 with a KTM Canada type backed thing. But he's the only guy that I could think of that would be like a good transition because Jess Pettis is fast. I know that it's not the same thing, but he's won multiple Canadian championships in the 250 class. He is a hardworking dude, just kind of has the injury bug every time he tries to ride Supercross. And he's the only other guy that I could think of that might get that spot. But once again, I don't know if he has contract obligations with other people to ride a 450 because, once again, he still is a Canadian-backed guy.
Yeah.
So,
well, Coach, do you have any hard names connected with that, or are you just pure speculation that you got?
I did not have a name that was attached to it, but I was told that there would be 2 250s at the track this summer.
Yeah. So if you want to bench race a little bit, who would you put on?
Oh yeah, we like
KTM
these
summer?
games. Team manager hat.
Yeah, I like the team manager game. So Coach Robb, your team manager of KTM, who are you putting on the KTM 250 factory motorcycle this summer?
People may laugh at me, but I would say Oldenburg right now has got my attention. With his
Love it.
consistency of starts.
Love it.
He's been able to, he's hit the dirt a few times, but it's not been without the assistance of somebody else. But I think people forget Oldenburg's background. I mean, he did get that third place podium, which was great. The one thing that I love about the 250 class is neither coast is really decimated. Now, again, in all fairness, each coast only has 4, maybe 5 factory bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I know Oldenburg is on that. Justin could correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't he on the Phoenix Honda team?
Moto Concepts team.
Oh, Moto Concepts, excuse me. So if you look at I don't know how strict or how handcuffed he would be in a contract like that, but that would be the guy that has shown that he's been very consistent all the way through. And that would be the guy that I would go with because he's got a good mixture of experience. He knows how to get feedback on bikes. I mean, he's ridden for factory teams before. Mm-hmm. He's putting a bike that I don't know how much equipment is on that, but he doesn't seem to be intimidated by anybody. That would be the guy I would go with personally.
I like it.
I like it too.
Yep.
Oldenburg. I
you?
hope he's riding outdoors.
What about you two? I want to hear from you two. Who you putting on it? I know who I'm putting on it.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I would have to go look at some Supercross finishes here to see who the fuck is even a Jeff Walker.
Yeah, the YouTube world will be
YouTube world will be
who
stoked.
I actually have a name.
But he can't because he got Bang Energy.
Yeah.
Bang Energy. Jesus Christ. I do have a name, but I don't know.
Hold on, this is about to be the most random fucking privateer ever. Go ahead.
No, it's not. It's not even a privateer.
Oh shit!
It's not even a privateer. It's somebody that is on the other side of the world right now. But I don't know because I know he just got hurt doing his series, and I don't know how open he would be to coming over here. And it's a guy we actually just talked about when we had Eric on. I'd put Luke Cloud on that bike. I'd put Luke Cloud on that bike. Yeah. I really would. I know that he just got hurt, so I don't think he'd be in any position to. But you want to talk about somebody that I know that if he's on a factory bike could go out there and compete, Luke Cloud's your fucking guy. Yeah. I have been such a supporter of that dude since he's been over here as an amateur with the Grondahl and Hayden Mulross. And I don't know if it's just a him thing, but he has not gotten the chances over here that I think he's deserved.
Yeah. Cole, what about you?
Call me crazy.
Here we go.
Oh,
but
boy.
This is who I'm putting on the factory
Josh
KTM.
Greco. Oh, wait.
Nope.
Sorry.
This is who I'm putting on the factory KTM. Vince fucking Freeze.
Oh, I knew it was going.
I'll be real honest with you. Vince Freeze is a good fucking rider.
I'm telling you, man. So Vince Freeze is a good fucking rider.
I wish Coach knew that
He
joke.
would be solid. He would get the starts. He'd get that bike up front.
Mm-hmm.
And... an added bonus, he might take someone out, cause some controversy, and there's some more press for you. So,
Jesus Christ.
Team KTM, I doubt you're listening to this, but put Vince fucking Freeze on that KTM.
There you go.
There we go.
Vince fucking Freeze.
What do you think about that, Coach?
Coach is probably doing his eye roll.
Yeah, I mean, how do you argue with it? I mean, the guy's fearless. He doesn't care about anybody. He is a good starter. The big thing that I would be concerned about with Vince is that he doesn't fit the corporate image.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? He's a little bit brash for them. Of course, Cooper Webb's pretty brash as well, but I don't know. You look at Dunge, you look at Marv, and then you look at Vince Freeze. It's like, just doesn't work. So capability-wise, yes, I think because it's like Michael Alessi. You either love him or you hate him, but you can't factor him out of the mix that he's always there. back in his day, of course. So Vince has certainly shown that he's got the magnitude for it. Justin, were you the one that was saying Luke Clout?
Yep.
I've got one better for you out of Australia.
Okay.
Todd Waters.
Oh, I like that.
There you go.
I like that. Todd.
Good
I like-
pick. Good
I like
pull.
that. Yep.
You're defending outdoor Australian champion.
I like that.
He's ridden with Caroli, with Team Red Bull, with the KTM Red Bull team. Plenty of experience. Has a young child at home. Home life is solid. You know, you got to put yourself. Can you imagine being a team manager trying to keep the mental focus of a 19-year-old kid making $1 million a year? You know, you look at somebody like a Todd Waters. He's got an established gear company. He's a defending Australian national champion. He's ridden for teams at the MXGP level. Tremendous amount of speed. He's still racing with the fast guys like Clout and
Dean Ferris and all them.
Yeah, Dean Ferris, and then
There's a couple other guys.
Like,
There was a couple other guys
Yeah,
from the
there's
GPs like Nathan Crawford, Jay Wilson, Bailey Malkovich.
Jay Wilson.
Yep, Jay
That was
Wilson.
who I think about. Jay Wilson. And Todd's still holding his own with him. And he might be 8 to 10 years older than them. But if you're a team manager and you're a mechanic and everything else, who would you want to work with? A kid that, you know, is kind of cocky and a pain in the ass, or do you want to work with a guy that can give you legitimate feedback and you know that when he leaves the track, he's really going to go train and not tell you that he is?
Oh, the shit talking that would ensue between him, Jet, and Hunter, with them being all
Exactly.
Aussies. Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
great.
The shit talking on the line would be absolutely epic.
And then if that happened, you know who you're going to guys are going to completely think I'm an idiot. You know who is an absolute bad mofo on a dirt bike track?
Who's
That
that?
does not race moto, that races off-road.
Oh,
This is Australia. Stick with me, Australia.
Toby Price.
Daniel Sanders on the motocross track is
He's a Dakar guy, right?
ridiculous.
He's a Dakar guy, right?
That's right.
Yep.
He's the one. I had a chance when I was in Australia. I got a chance to work with him and a couple other guys for a couple weeks. He's got a motocross track, and if you don't follow him on Instagram, do it. And then go look at what he posted earlier this week where he did a moto track rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
It is legit. And like when Justin Brayton and all those guys were over there, they actually trained. Here's an off-road dude that has a full-blown to scale supercross track and a full-blown 2.5-minute outdoor track, and he will go full send on everybody.
Definitely knows cardio wouldn't be an issue for 35 minutes.
Exactly. And I was talking to him. Do you guys remember? I don't remember what Outdoor National, and they had Toby there, and they had Daniel because they had done so well in Dakar, and they had him at one of the Outdoor Nationals, and then they let them go out and actually ride the track.
Mm-hmm.
When they had an open spot on KTM, they were going to give him a chance to try to
that's
ride
great
that
buzz.
flight. Who was it? Caleb Russell.
Oh,
They
yeah,
pulled Caleb Russell off.
Yep.
They pulled Caleb Russell off. You know, he went out there and said that he had to pull out because it just, you know, he was getting hurt all the time. No, what it was is KTM didn't want the black guy that he wasn't, you know, he had a factory bike that he wasn't putting on the podium. And I honestly thought they'd put Daniel Sanders because remember when Caleb Russell was racing Outdoor Nationals like 5 years ago and he was running like 13th and then he got taken out?
Yep.
I think he got taken out by Barsha, didn't he?
I think that was at Unadilla, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
You put Daniel Sanders out there, that dude will hang with anybody you put out there in front of him. He is absolutely legit. So think about it. If you could get Daniel Sanders, you get Todd Waters, you don't think Jace with Gypsy Tails would be over here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then you'd have to get Jackson
you got
Richardson.
The Lawrence brothers. And then because, like, when I went over and did the Gypsy Tales podcast, literally Jace's studio is adjacent to Todd Waters' personal, where he does all his mechanical work.
Mm-hmm. Man, we just
Where
anything to get
where
Jace
he
over
literally
here.
has a garage.
Anything to get Jace over here, I'm all on board for.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming to Disney Nations. I'll bet you money he's at Disney Nations.
Oh, yeah, because hopefully Australia can actually send a team this year, so they'll have
Yeah.
Hunter, Jet, and maybe Luke.
They can make him the media guy for the team.
I don't give a fuck what they do, as long as he's over here doing something.
Yeah. Well, all right, Coach. I told you half hour. We've now gone almost an hour and 15 minutes, so.
It's fine.
No worries, man. I can't thank you guys enough for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. And if when the dust settles and we get back home, if you guys have me back on, that would be awesome. But I hope all the listeners that are in that Michigan area, we all know what Buck's facility looks like. And as I always put in social media, it reminds me of just riding on a golf course. So I hope everybody that's in the area can come out. We have about 8. I think we're down to 6 spots. I think we had 8. I think we're down to 6. I think that's what I put on social media according to our coordinator. So, and if you're listening to this, please come out. We'd love to work with you. And I can't thank you guys enough for setting it up, because we wouldn't be there without you guys.
Hell yeah. Well, we appreciate it, and we're pumped to hang out for the weekend.
It's going to be awesome.
So, chop
cool.
it up. So, thank you,
You
Coach.
got it. Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks, guys.
Sounds good, buddy.
All
We'll
right,
talk
Coach,
to you later.
Have a good night, man.
Take care.
All right. Coach Robb, everybody.
I'm bummed.
Dude, what?
I think I didn't hit record on the camera that whole
No,
damn
I
time.
was recording for a while. It just shut off.
So, anyways.
Damn, did it get my Vince Freezy bit?
No, I don't think so.
Fuck!
So anyways.
I got to refilm the Vince Freezy bit.
Jesus.
So anyways, back to my question about Shane, though. I think that part of me believes that they're possibly going to contact him at some point.
Who?
KTM, Red Bull.
Vince Freeze?
No, not Shane. Shane for a 450 spot.
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
Well, let's talk about
His back.
the Dungey
back is
and the
whooping.
Tyroli thing for just another minute before we
I
wrap
was gonna
this
say,
up.
we got to wrap this
Yeah,
up
we
soon.
gotta
It's
wrap it up.
9:40, dude.
I don't know about Dungey, but I'm still firmly believing that Cairoli, even though he talks about this being his retirement tour and he's just doing this for fun, he's been training, he's been riding 3 days a week. I firmly believe he's going to come in with an idea in his mind that he can go out, maybe not win, but I think he's going to come out and if he gets a start, he's going to go for broke and he's going to try to win.
Dungey?
No, Cairoli. Dungey, I don't think so. I don't think Dungey's got shit. But Cairoli, I think that in his mind, I think that he thinks he can still beat these guys because he was just battling for a world championship last year. I don't care how old he is. But
We'll see.
who are you guys' winners for Salt Lake?
Yeah, let's wrap it up with that.
Yeah.
Jason Anderson wins out.
Okay. So that'd be 7. He'd be tied with Tomac on wins.
Yep, I think he's chasing that money, getting them wins bonuses.
Hopefully his win bonus is worth a shit.
It'll be either him or Sexton. I think that take the win in Salt Lake.
Okay.
250 class.
East-West shootout.
I think Hunter Lawrence keeps the streak going.
Okay.
The Lawrence battle at the front.
I don't think it's gonna be a Lawrence battle. I think it's
No,
gonna
no.
be. I think it's gonna be a Hunter Lawrence Austin Faulkner battle.
I forgot about Fortner. Fortner win. Sorry.
All right.
Weird. All right. Here we go. You guys ready for this?
Okay.
You boys ready?
David
Okay.
Pulley.
Salt Lake.
Fuck that guy, and he even got on with Verb Moto with Kyle Cowling.
Jeremy Hunt. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
They did a whole black and white, like him in a test track
oh
one
that's
day.
racist.
All right.
Jesus.
Here we go.
Don't make a Jeremy Hand joke either. That's not funny.
Malcolm Stewart.
Because you just want to
Gotta
hold on.
win.
Oh,
You gotta
wanna-
win.
You
Oh,
really
you
want to hold
continue
on.
with the black and white thing.
Shut up.
Literally,
Jesus Christ.
literally, he's black and you wore white gear.
Yeah. Malcolm Stewart wins 450s.
Okay.
Hunter's going to win the 250s.
Okay.
Jet's going to come in second. And
Okay.
Fortner's going to be third. And Craig's going to be on the ground crying.
All right. So, do you want me to be my realistic or what I really would hope happens?
No, I want you to be realistic.
Realistic.
As fuck,
All right. So
'cause
I
I'm
think
trying to wrap this up.
I think Anderson wins. I think he does win out, and I think Faulkner wins as well.
Kawasaki sweeping.
Well, I called
them
it.
brooms out, boys.
I called it in Foxborough.
Get
I called,
them brooms
I called
out,
him in Faulkner.
boys.
What my heart would want though is Marvin Muscan and Hunter Lawrence.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah, that would be my heart. But I just think it's going to be Faulkner and Anderson.
Cool.
Sick.
All right.
All right. Well, this has been show 200. We went long
Sorry for the
here.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties. We're still working out the new studio space here, so I'm trying to
we're
figure
working
out
on
where
some
the
stuff. I brought my own camera this time to work on cutting some shit up and be a little more active on the fucking socials.
yeah, something like that.
We're good on the Twitter.
Make
though.
sure you charge the battery next time, though.
I know my camera.
That was a
game
rookie
is-
fucking move.
Whatever, dude.
It's like forgetting the battery. Like didn't charge it, forgot the
Oh,
battery.
it's like doing
didn't put
a whole
the memory
bit. It's like
card
doing
in.
a whole bit with one of your guests that you need to value his time and not hitting record.
Yeah, that. Hey, we have not done a whole set, so anytime we've done part of a set, it's fine. Anyway, all right, this has been show 200. thank you, boys, for coming in.
Thank you, Kevin
Appreciate it.
Morans. Thank you, Eric Grondahl, and thank you, Coach Robb Beams.
We were gonna call Kev back, but I'm
Fuck that.
done.
I gotta go
I'm
home and
done.
eat dinner.
Yeah, I gotta go home and eat.
You are home.
I
gotta walk outdoors
I gotta
and
walk
go to
that
your
way.
home.
Yeah. So thanks to our sponsors for coming on board with us. Thanks to everyone for watching, participating in, and listening to 200 shows of
Holy
us fucking morons
shit.
talking.
200.
Here's to 200 more.
Maybe.
Links for everybody that sponsors us in the descriptions below, and we will be back next week to wrap up
the
this
season.
Supercross season,
Wow.
which is a fucking
It's wild.
We'll talk about that later. All right, thanks everybody. We'll be back.
Later.